Hi, everyone. It's Urban Shadows Night, and we're in Ruby Tooth Bay. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining our Urban Shadows Second Edition campaign here in the fictional city, the fictional Florida spring break pandemonium town of Ruby Tooth Bay. Yeah,
Not
we're
to be mistaken with Ruby Tuesday.
Nope, not at all. Not until those sponsor checks start coming in will those comparisons start getting made. Um, it's if we want some rumors involving all you can eat salad bars, we need some checks first, or at the very least some gift certificates. But yeah, why don't we go around in a circle, and y'all can introduce yourselves. Uh, Actually, fuck the circle. Let's shake things up so it's not the same people introducing themselves first each time, and make Leland introduce himself first.
Son of a bee sting. I didn't expect that. Hold on, let me adjust my camera. Hello. Am I muted? No, I'm not.
No,
Okay.
you're not.
Hello. I'm Leland / Leopold the Just. I am a social media coordinator / internet douchebag. In the tabletop RPG realm, and you can find me by going to @Leopold the Just and look at the stuff I post, which is not great. And here today with this illustrious group, I am playing Vesuvius Nero, who's somehow I forgot his fucking ridiculous name for a split second. I'm playing Vesuvius Nero. I am the Tainted Playbook, and I am I worship the devil, and yeah, and but at the same time also work for a devil. So it's just a whole thing. It's a different devil than the one. Okay, you'll figure it out. All right, I'm done.
Awesome, very, very informative. Zan,
Yeah, and by the way, that was scripted. Everyone.
Zan, hit us with what you've got.
All right, so what I've got, other than a fantastic name, which little spoilers for y'all. I'm playing Henry Richard Donner, otherwise known as HRD, the Hard Place, or Don, and it has only been today that our wonderful master of ceremonies realized that for a third of the time of this entire screen, the phrase "hard on" is visible below my face. So I'm just really happy about that, and I'm really pleased. And I just wanted to share that with the rest of y'all, that it didn't stop at the Ruby Tuesday. It's kept going. And yeah, well, I'm Zan. I'm a professional GM and content creator for 5e, World of Darkness, and a whole bunch of other really cool stuff out there. And yeah, I do fun RPG stuff here and on other great people's channel. And today I'm playing Don, who is a vamp who just keeps trying to make the best decision available at that moment. And it seems like Wick's real bad. Not Wick. Was his name Wick?
There is a Wick. I don't know if that's who you're talking about.
Yeah. It's just like one of Wick's really bad improv lessons. It's just
with
yes and
with the Punky Brewsters.
With the Punky Brewsters. Yeah, fuck, I forgot about that. Damn, that was so good. I was on fire that night. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's me. That's my spiel. That's my thing.
Historian, would you like to go?
Sure, I guess I will. Hello, team. I'm IC Historian. IC Historian, all the places I feel like being found on the internet. I am a professional content creator for teaching social studies to middle schoolers. And yeah, you can find me here every Sunday and any place else that, forgot to lock the windows. And I will be playing Olive Jones, the Ruby Tooth Bay's premier oddities and antiquities dealer, with a penchant for telling the future, like a little bit. So yeah, it's a good time. Here we are.
All right, awesome. And then the last member of our crew is present but is not able to speak for herself right now. So we will hype Nikki up for her. For yes, I can words tonight. I'm talking just fine. Nikki's great. Nikki's Twitter's in the chat. Nikki does a lot of awesome stuff and is always looking for games to play. Pretty much because she's amazing and fits so much shit into her time. So if you need more players for things, talk to her. And I'm Pat. I go by Tactric on places online, like here, the channel you're on and have found. So there's that. We'll do a brief recap of last session in Ruby Tooth Bay. We'll do our poem. We'll do our starting session moves from the folks that have starting session moves, and then we'll dive into this shit. Any other new business? Any folks got new business for the agenda tonight?
No.
Thank you. Yeah. So last week, what happened last week? I should really make you all do this at some point.
I don't like that.
What did happen last week?
So I can tell you what happened, at least from Dom's point of view.
I would love that.
Because from Dom's point of view, what happened was there was some fucking jackass started a bar fight, and that's
Accurate.
never good for anybody's reputation. And sometimes when there's a small bar fight, the only way to get away from it is to create a really big bar fight and get out in the chaos. And coincidentally, Chaos Incarnate did show up, and so Don, is confident in Casey's ability to survive and get out of this situation. So just went ahead and left right on by the way, and was going to look after Snopey, like contacting some of Snopey's friends, put some feelers out into the web to try to get some information, and smelled something real tasty, and decided to see what this big tasty smell was, and popped his head into a club, and sure enough, it was Belphegor. So despite Don's best efforts at appealing to Belphegor's non-existent human nature, and bringing up the honor of contracts to no avail, Don wound up hanging out with Belphegor, and probably drinking a bit and doing some blow, and Lord knows what they're on to now.
Yeah, that's a good time too for I will cover Casey's chunk of what happened. She showed up at the Jean Shallow pool in time to see Don chuck a bottle and hit somebody right in the head, which started a small bar fight, and then lo and behold, a bigger one started. Where Casey just thrived. She got a debt for healing Don's victim, I guess we'll say. Don's assault victim. Just sauntered all through the chaos and started checking around the place for, her sister had sent her there for a clue. And as she was looking around, found another of Don's surprises when she let a werewolf out of the walk-in. She wound up accumulating, a bit of damage in this process. She's looking a little rough, but in that process, she recognized the wolf as Lane, who she's had, a brief romantic tryst with, and with a clever use of her Fey powers, calmed Lane down and got her to transform back into her not giant wolf self. Who is now picked up the injured Casey and is running her, you would imagine, to some source of healing. Oliver Vesuvius. Who are we checking in with first?
I think Olive first because hers leads into mine.
Perfect. So Olive finished up setting up Preston, her benefactor, a televangelist, multi-level marketing guru type figure, who has about 17 months, I think we said, left on his demon contract before he makes the long journey to the big downstairs, if you know what I mean. He is being sort of set up by Trivia, to swap out in order to kick the can down the road and buy himself some time. So Olive was tasked with setting up a meeting between the two of them, and upon doing that, she beat feet back to her shop to find Bruin, a friend of hers, sitting with Vesuvius, a tolerant of hers, that who was then taken away by Scarlet, another vampire, and we all kind of converged upon Vesuvius's location at the gorge, whose name I very remember and am now quizzing all of you on what it is. So, there's that. And now we are sort of watching some sort of ritual where tainted are being de-demonified and trying to figure out what the fuck to do from there.
I just want to reiterate that she just let me get taken by that vampire hunter. Just
At your insistence.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I did do the.
I seem to remember there was a very meaningful and communicative eye contact made.
There was
on the
yes.
exit.
The classic wink. It's okay. I only said that because my character is just confident that he can get himself out of any situation by using fire, but maybe not this one.
Cool. Well, I'm feeling good about things. Everybody feeling good with the recap? Any lingering questions?
Am I gonna make it, boss?
I don't know. I'm very much. I'm feeling very, question and answer tonight. I'm asking you all more questions than normal. I'm sorry.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to, this is really gonna be a juice situation. On one hand, we can wake up and choose the twisted tea of violence, and on the other hand, we can find the ocean spray cranberry juice of acceptance and peace. And I, for one, know I'm feeling like a little twisted today.
And it's, just because to bring it back up, since I didn't introduce the game, Urban Shadows is a dark political urban fantasy, where our goals are to keep the city dark and political, keep the characters' lives out of control and evolving, and play to find out what happens. So with that being said, there's always a third option, Xanav. Even though Leland is our friend, there's Vesuvius, who's different, and fuck them, they're on their own is always an appropriate option in Urban Shadows.
What are we doing? What are we talking about now?
Would
that ever happen in a soap opera? I don't think that would ever happen in a soap opera, would it? I thought they were friends in soap operas.
Who's to say?
Have you seen Dr. Sleep?
That's a fantastic film, yes.
Yeah.
That is the antagonist in that film is what I imagine. Since you said that we could change things around fairly easily, I think that is a little bit more accurate as to what Dom does than being a full-blown psychic vampire a la Darkest Shadows, or What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little bit more close to the style of Don. They've all got their weird things, and I think that's just kind of Don's. Vamps is the one that fits it fits the best. But hey, me and Belphegor, we're gonna be buddies, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's as things progress through the night, he might be looking for some new employment or some new employees.
Oh yeah, sure thing. Yeah, yep. I'm pliable.
Yeah. Awesome. Poem time. Let's have a poem. Let's have an Edgar Allan Poe poem with The City in the Sea. Lo, death has reared himself a throne in a strange city lying alone, far down within the dim west, where the good and the bad and the worst and the best have gone to their eternal rest. There shrines and palaces and towers, time-eaten towers and tremble not, resemble nothing that is ours, around by lifting winds forgot. Resignedly beneath the sky the melancholy waters lie. No rays from the holy heaven come down on that long night time of that town, but light from out the lurid sea streams up the turrets silently, gleams up the pinnacles far and free, up domes, up spires, up kingly halls, up fanes, up Babylon-like walls, up shadowy long-forgotten bowers of sculpted ivy and stone flowers, up many and many a marvelous shrine whose wreathed friezes intertwine. The viol, the violet, and the vine, resignedly beneath the sky the melancholy waters lie. So blend the turrets and shadows there that all seem pendulous in air, while from a proud tower in the town death looks gigantically down. There, open fanes and gaping graves yawn level with the luminous waves, but not the riches there that lie in each idol's diamond's eye, not the gaily jeweled dead tempt the waters from their bed, for no ripples curl, alas. Along that wilderness of glass no swellings tell that winds may be upon some far-off happier sea, no heaving hint that winds have been on seas less hideously serene. But lo, a stir in the air, the wave, there is a movement there, as if the towers had thrust aside in slightly sinking the dull tide, as if their tops had feebly given a void within the filmy heaven. The waves have now a redder glow, the hours of breathing faint and low, and when amid no earthly moans, down that town shall settle hence. Hell, rising from 1,000 thrones, shall do it reverence. So yeah, the city's fine. The city's great. Let's shadow, let's urban shadow.
All right.
Um,
I roll to urban.
Yes, you've got 2 stats: urban and shadows. Jen, would you like to foretell us some things?
Oh my word, I am so excited about foretelling. So, all right, I don't tell you anything until I roll, and I'm gonna roll plus spirit because I'm really good at remembering stuff. I got an 8.
Oh no! That's the first time we've been lower than a 10.
On that, yeah.
Yeah, on that. So what does that do?
On a
Let's
miss,
see.
you instead receive a terrifying.
So not a miss.
Oh, okay.
So you still get something. It's on a hit. You pick one of the options below. Okay, so you get the same 3 options as usual for what type of vision you're gonna get, but I get to tell you who it's about this time.
Oh, well, fine.
So we've got, as a reminder, we've got a dangerous threat is closing in on someone. The MC will tell you why that threat stalks them. An ally is plotting a betrayal of someone. The MC will tell you when the hammer will fall. Or a tragedy lurks in the shadows. The MC will tell you how that person can avoid it.
Okay, so, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the fact that we're all hanging out at a weird ritual means I might want to look at the threat closing in, or it has closed in. The threat that is happening right now immediately.
Sure. So it's just to clarify from where we left off last week. You and Bruin have made your way over to the gorge, right?
Yes.
Crimson Root Gorge, as everybody said when they were muted. I heard it. I heard it in my soul
several times, actually. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was. Sorry, I was gonna make a funny joke, but it wasn't funny, and I stopped. All right, continue.
Great.
Cool. Love it.
Glad we had that moment together. So,
right.
I guess like what I really kind of want to know is what the F we can do about this here Second Ark situation.
Okay.
Uh so I guess I mean it also could be tragedy, but I also guess it depends on who you're gonna tell me about.
It
And if you're gonna be
does.
a good little MC or if you're going to be a bad little MC. So
It's always gonna be good. It just may not be good in the way you want, or good for who you want.
if I had $1 for every time that was true of my life.
So what do you think in your current surroundings triggers a vision for you?
I
How
would
does this
say
happen?
what would trigger a vision for me is seeing Vesuvius and all of these other. I'm imagining if these are tainted from like around. I imagine Olive has some idea of who some of them are.
Sure.
And seeing the sort of supernaturalness, I mean, appear to be ripped out of people, whether or not it's actually
Mhm.
successful. Obviously, I haven't done a double blind study that passed, IRB and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you want to make sure that's repeatable. You want some independent parties,
yeah, but I
replicating
mean,
things.
upon first observation, I have a sense that might be what's happening. I think that sort of would be very upsetting to Olive because, like, I mean, Vesuvius is a dumbass, but Vesuvius is her dumbass. So it's like you can't, you're gonna rip the taintedness out of somebody. Look, we're just gonna be kind of left with dumbass. That would just be sad. So I think it would be like that situation would be because then, well, if they're ripping the taintedness out of people, can they rip the oracleness out of people? And then that would be bad. That'd be a sad time.
It might be. It might be. Yeah. So I think you and Bruin, from your point of observation around this sinkhole. It's a sinkhole. You can see Vesuvius with. I forget if you've met Gloves or the Good Reverend before. Once we jump into the scene proper, you're welcome to roll face to a name for them, but we'll hold off on that till the vision's done.
I love that.
And then further down into the gorge from there, you see. It's a bit tough to see at this angle, but you're essentially seeing like these runes glowing in the ground in a series of concentric circles and pentagrams, and it's glowing this bright, like sickly green color, like a pale green, and that for a second it catches your eye at just the right angle and flares up, and kind of takes over the vision. And suddenly you're not at the gorge anymore. You're not sure where you're at.
Okay.
You're in a room. Your feet feel wet. Like there's water sloshing around at like foot level.
Great.
And there's like these 4 columns that appear to be set up. It's like you got jumped to a different ritual.
Okay.
And but the light's not working how it's supposed to in here. Something about the laws of physics isn't carrying through. And
Great.
you've got eyes essentially on one of the columns near you. Go ahead and roll face to a name with wild for me.
Great.
And mark wild.
Oh, good. That's just 2d6 for me because I have nothing special for wild, right? I roll with wild.
Yep.
Cool. I don't know anything.
Oh, huh. I feel like this would be very... So it's either you don't know them or you owe them a debt.
Who picks?
I do.
Great.
I think this would be really interesting if you don't know who this person is, and then you have to essentially find them or find out in order to fill in the rest of the vision type situation, to know who this is, who this threat is directed at.
Wait, so okay, like, can I have a moment?
Or if that's too pain in the ass, you could just owe this person a debt.
No, I just want to ask a clarifying question.
Yes.
So I don't know who is being threatened by what's happening.
Yeah. So this is
Okay.
this is the subject of your vision. and that was put to try and recognize them here.
Okay. And so it's the person being threatened by question mark something in this gross
Yes.
place.
And are you in? I mean, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this to give you the description of them. You know what? It's better this way, I think. So the rest of us on this side of the table know this person, but Olive does not. Had Don been looking at this vision with you, they would recognize Snopey attached to this column.
Okay.
So Olive does not know Snopey, but essentially if we're in a situation where you meet Snopey or get that chance, then we can kind of fill in some gaps there. But she seems to be attached to one of these 4 columns. Does not appear conscious, and you hear just almost like garbled chanting from elsewhere in the room, kind of coming from all corners.
Okay.
And you see more of these lights kind of activating, similar to the ritual circles where we started the session. And it starts flooding your vision. Your vision starts going just that color as Snopey and the columns start fading out. But as you're being pulled from the vision, you feel the water in the room rising up from just below your feet rapidly to be your neck, starting to go into your mouth as you're pulled backwards. So Snopey appears to be set up for some ritual where the room is being flooded. So the dangerous threat closing in on Snopey, and why it stalks them is because it needs a winter fae for their ritual to succeed.
And do I get this? Do the lights tell me that there is a connection between the ritual I just saw and the ritual that is happening in front of me? Or was that just a beautiful bit of narrative creativity?
Narrative creativity. You'd actually recognize... I think you're tuned in enough to magic to recognize there is almost like... Actually... It's 2 different sources. 2 different kind of power sources. You caught up on that. So, like, the ritual that you're at appears to be at, like, a power-based cult type thing.
Yeah.
You didn't get the sense of, like, man or, like, human studied magic from that. You think that whatever was happening with Snopey is something different.
Okay. So I get the sense that this is somebody, maybe what I'm watching now is somebody meddling who thinks they've gotten really big for their britches, but what I was watching with Snowbee was some real shit.
Or at least, like, the magic of the power faction could still be, dangerous and powerful and have, like, that same level of impact. It's almost like 2 different flavors.
Okay.
Like, the power faction tends to get... I mean, you're as part of power.
Right.
Like, that your magic is very different than, say, like, the, like, natural predator type abilities of, like, a vampire or, like, a ghost's abilities to slip in and out of places. Or a demon or a fae's magic that kind of comes from their inner being.
Okay. Does one of these types of magic feel more familiar to me?
That's what I was debating, whether you would get that information from the vision. I think if you could identify the location, you could dig into that. So I think it's going to require some more research on your part. Great,
love that. So I definitely think that so Bruin is with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that drowning is like a real problem for Olive. Because I think that with this shipwreck situation and like Olive's kind of I don't know how to say it, like the connection that she's had with this shipwreck and collecting the artifacts and talking to Letitia and some of the other spirits that are still hanging around. I think she's had a lot of visions where drowning or almost drowning has been like a thing. So I think that when her vision clears and she comes back, she is like clinging to Bruin because she's kind of like having a bit of a panic attack, because I think the drowning thing is like Like the idea that Snow Pea is being ritually drowned is like it sort of is an autonomic response. You know what I mean? Like someone who's afraid of heights. And she's sort of not like babbling, like she's trying to get a hold of herself, but I think she's definitely like that way that when people are having like a panic attack, they just sort of like talk kind of incoherently. She's just talking about drowning, and they're drowning her, and I don't know who it is, but she's going to drown, and we have to get her. We have to find her because they're going to drown her. They're going to drown her in the cave, and we have to get to the cave. And like I think that's like what she's doing, which I don't know if for Olive, I think that would count as an intimacy move.
Sure.
Would that allow me to mark Mortalis because Bruin is Mortalis?
It sure would.
Hell yeah.
I think if you allow it, if it's okay with you, Bruin is kind of just I don't know how much he's been around you when a vision hits you. I know you've done some work together where you intentionally investigate things, but I think this is all a new experience for him, and so he's doing his best just to like first aid care for you, and like just like a warm body there, like what should I be doing?
I don't think that she's even really processing whatever he's saying. I think she's literally processing the fact that he's not a stone column and she's not neck deep in water. And that sort of is what it is. And I think it takes her like a second to compose herself, but like as the vision recedes and she sort of returns to the space, I think that she gets back to normal, but she's definitely like, I think it took her by surprise what sort of came over her. So for this, I mark corruption and ask the MC to follow up. Oh,
so you get a specific and clear vision about Bruin's future.
Oh shit. Okay.
You can mark corruption then to ask me up to 2 follow-up questions that I have to answer honestly.
Oh.
So you don't have to do any follow-up questions, but you've got two in the chamber there if you're willing to take the corruption for it.
I love that. So, I definitely will take the intimacy move because that will advance me one more time. So I think I'm afraid, but let's go. What do I get? A vision's future, a Bruin's future. Is it wedding bells and a white picket fence and an Olive and Bruin together forever, love and kisses, happy time story? Or is it his head on a stick? It's going to be the head on the stick. Thomas More style.
Thomas More style. It's going man for all seasons here.
So my other favorite movie. That's my other favorite movie for forever. Oh, love it so much.
No, so no heads on spikes at the moment.
I was really hoping, but I don't.
Huh. I think so. You get a vision of. So yeah, it's like as your Bruin is kind of like holding you, at least like you said, to be not a stone column, but be something in some way of support. And just from the physical contact, you get this vision of him walking through what appears to be sewers, kind of with a flashlight. It's very focused on him. You're not getting a whole lot of view around him if he's alone.
Is there water possibly up to his shoes in the sewers, Patrick?
Do you want to hold on to the follow-up question until I'm done, or do you want this to be one?
Sure, I'll do that, yeah. Okay. All right, fair.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I'll tell you without having to spend any corruption or one of those questions, this does not look like the same big chamber he was in. He's kind of going through just some more narrow sewer tunnels, cutting between some service tunnels. And it almost
doesn't look like where I was. It doesn't look like where I was in my vision. Okay.
No, he's not wherever he's going. He hasn't reached his destination yet.
Okay.
But it seems to be down is kind of the general sense you get. Things start speeding up a little bit, You get just flashes of he gets to a bigger round room that you can see everything in, and he's going to different it looks like different panels or locations in the room, and he's pulling out his notepad, which you've seen him use before, and like consulting some research he's done, and it's almost like he's having to activate something. And he goes to a door that kind of comes out then from the back wall, and goes to double checks his note, goes to open it with, it's like old and stone, and starts trying to force it open just through, sheer strength. And he gets it. And you get kind of like the stereotypical, like, gust of dust coming out of, an old room that's being, I don't know if unentombed, or I can't think of the right word.
Yeah, I get you.
As it looks like something that was human at some point falls out into his arms. It looks like shriveled, almost like desiccated, and he catches it. And then the face turns up to his and goes for his neck. And that's where it cuts. Except for any questions you'd like to ask.
Great. Yeah, so I only have one corruption marked. So, and we can mark it, 5 before I explode or some shit?
Once you get 5 corruption points marked, you can take a corruption advance.
Great, love that. Okay.
Which are very, very spicy and juicy and just the best.
Yeah, I don't care. We're going for this because, G. Patrick, you left a couple of things unclear.
Just a couple things.
It's so weird. So one, do I recognize the shriveled, desiccated, whatever?
Recognize, like, personally? Or
does it have any features of anyone that I have encountered? Like in a vision I had 8 seconds ago.
No.
Okay.
Not. I'll say, to give you something from that, this is not a person that I think you'd have any reason to recognize. And they're in such a state that you wouldn't recognize this. You wouldn't recognize them like this. But to give you something from that question, you do recognize a vampire when it's been starved.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I have a starved vampire and like a whole bunch of panels. So I get one more question. All right. Shit, I don't even know what to ask because I have so many stupid questions. I don't know what to ask that will give me the most information that will be the most useful to me. So he's investigating, he's in these sewers, and it doesn't seem connected to what I watched with Snow Pea.
No.
So that one we already figured out. Yeah. Okay. Anything on the panels or the door or his notebook that would give me an idea of what he was looking into, what he was looking for, what he was looking at? They would either stick out in all his mind or that he would recognize from previously.
Yeah, you get... Again, there's the vision for whatever. It seems to be moving at different speeds at different points. Like a VCR tape that's choosing to fast forward through certain every so often. You're able to as the notebook is flipping, you're able to almost slam pause when he's on a page. You see an emblem or you see an emblem and some sort of sigil work around it that that you've seen the logo essentially before. You know that you would, if you went back through kind of research and stuff you had at your shop, that you'd probably figure out what group this was related to historically. It's something from Ruby Tooth Bay's history.
Great.
and it looks like the kind of the details around it that make it look like it was some sort of spell work, not just like a logo. Appears to be some kind of like binding spell that this group
Great.
utilized. One might assume on the desiccated starved vampire.
Great.
We feeling good about that
I
intimacy?
have one more. I have one more clarifying question, but I don't know if it's like
Do-
really fair.
So you got to ask 2 follow-up questions.
I know I did.
I'm happy to clarify the
So
information I've
clarifying
provided.
question: was there anything on his like face? Because this is more for like what I saw. Was I able to see his face as he like opened the door and clutched? Was he like? Was it a surprise or a "I found you, my master" type look, or can I not tell?
Yeah, that's not anything you'd have to spend for a follow-up because I could have described that.
Okay.
He was startled when this thing fell out. He did.
Okay, all right.
It did
As
not
if,
seem
it
like
was
he
not
knew
an
what to
expectation.
expect.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a like, yes, here you go. You know, okay.
No,
Beautiful,
nothing like
great.
that.
So I think that this would be maybe one of the first times that Bruin experiences like sort of spontaneous vision, like Olive.
Oh yeah, two in a row now.
2 in a row. Well, the first one she wasn't holding on to him, but when she's holding on to him, when she slips into that space, it's almost like she becomes like stone. She becomes incredibly like just rooted and very, very like hardens. Almost like, you know, when they cast Petrify in Final Fantasy X and you're like, it's like that.
Yeah.
Except that, and I think as she comes to, she just like is holding on to him, and she just looks up at him and says, "Will you make me a promise?"
I guess that probably. What about that?
If you go into the sewers, will you take me with you?
Sure. Yeah. Yes, I promise we will field trip to the sewers together.
No, I mean, I don't mean as a lovely afternoon jaunt. I mean, if you ever have to, take me with you. And I think she's just gonna kind of like extricate herself from him, and
But like as you're doing that, he was joking around a little bit, but he'll like kind of seeing how serious you are. Yeah, of course. Do those come in threes? Should we be prepared for another one?
I think she kind of is like, you could see her almost doing the thing like when people have had panic attacks, how they sort of start like will count maybe like what are all the things in the room that are yellow, and she sort of is like pressing on the ground to like almost like it's there, it's underneath me, I know that I'm back where I am, and she's sort of going, it's almost like a ritual that she goes through where she's like feeling her hands and looking around and whatnot, and like making sure that she's got like her necklace, like that type of a thing, sort of a grounding ritual almost. And she like waits for a second to see if anything else happens to hit and says, no, I think we're good for now. Just we're gonna wanna go back to the shop soon, but we'll probably have to figure out what's going on with this. And she kind of nods to the gorge, because I don't think that Dennison knows that we're here, right? Because he's currently focused
Not
on.
yet. Yeah, they've got some shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna kind of find like a vantage point that's not super conspicuous to look for an opportunity to maybe like find a way to intervene or disrupt the spell, or you know, if she could like time a well thrown water bottle to disrupt a sigil or something and make it not happen anymore. She's gonna look at something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we've got going on there. Before we dive too far down this literal hole, why don't we cut back to our friends that have not yet made it to the gorge and see what they're up to? Nikki, are you around to jump to Casey? All right. Well, we will jump to Don for a bit instead then.
Yeah. All right. All right. Dawn time. Cool. Cool.
Yes, you and Belphegor are sharing some drinks at the moment.
Okay. Cool. 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 Yeah. I mean, if like if Belphegor is fucking buying, then Dom's fucking drinking. So yeah, he's just gonna kind of just ran like you're never gonna fucking believe the goddamn day I had at work today. It was just I said work, you know. Yeah, it's a constant fucking thing that you do. But yeah, you know, just fucking. I had the fucking audacity of following one of my people around. Another motherfucker gets in the way when I try to throw a bottle, being all intimidating and not actually trying to hurt anybody, trying not to fucking hurt someone, and you hit a fucking scythe right in the fucking head. So, you got the next round, right?
Oh, I have all the rounds, friend.
Fantastic.
I don't have quite the stores that my brother has, but Gluttony's on the other side of the country, so it's a bit of a trip.
You know, time zone change means just a little bit more nighttime, right? Fuck. Yeah. Fuck. You any good at darts?
A bit. I've had some practice with it.
Oh.
It's usually not so much since I took over the place. It used to be a lot more crowded before I acquired ownership. People here just carousing, staying out all night. Didn't take more than a few weeks of me being in charge for the whole thing just to be a bit too draining, a bit too tiring for them, and they mostly stay in now.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking dead. Say, you wouldn't happen to have any shisha around here, right? So, you know, always fun to pretend to be a dragon. But this way, you know, you work with the dragon, you know how it is. I know. The dragon's a title, it changes. I get it. Yeah. So, what's your new shit? You got any been seeing your fella around? One of your fellows, you know.
Really?
Old Padre, yeah.
Oh, are you speaking of Vesuvius?
Yeah. That's his name. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's doing an adequate job of his responsibilities for the time being. I do try and.
You're
What's
right
that?
about that.
Tell me, what kind of interactions have you had with him so far? I'd consider it like you're leaving oh gosh, what is it that you call it? Like a review of their service.
Of course. Well, one CEO to another CEO. Yeah, it's just a small business to a fucking mattress superstore, I guess. I don't know. Clearly a different scales. I wouldn't dream to brag that much. But management to management. I think he's a bit of a liability. He's hungry, and if you're hungry, you're easy to manipulate. Not saying I would do that, of course. But it's always nice to know you can trust someone. But I feel like I'm just reinforcing what you already know. Is that the reason for this?
This is in our conversation, or this is in...
Well, I know time ain't exactly straightforward for you. So I feel like maybe me stopping in wasn't a surprise.
I look at it more that I've got a certain attraction, and I don't mean in the physical sense. I mean almost like gravity or magnetism, just a force of nature. People that need me get drawn in. People that are working themselves too hard.
For somebody who doesn't move a whole lot, you seem to conveniently be sitting down where you need to be. That's all I'm saying. You seem to know the appropriate place to sit down. But yeah, old Padres, he's fine. I mean, as fine as fine gets. One of the old fleshy ones. He's okay.
Yes, he was an interesting acquisition. A bit too skeptical for his own good at the time. Didn't really read the fine print, or at least take it seriously enough. I'm not sure if he's quite grown out of that yet. Seems to think he could tackle the world.
Yeah. For somebody who's wanting to tackle the world, he sure finds a lot of comfort in things that help him forget the rest of the world is there.
I hope this isn't a surprise for you, but you do know who I am, right? It's certain things are not, I wouldn't say a required part of the job, but I attract a certain type of employee.
Yeah, it seems a little bit more like your seems a little bit more like your sister's territory, though. But I can see the appeal. He's a bit of a taciturn one. I can understand the benefit.
Yes, well, it's like I said, my management style is a bit lax. I guess you would call them organizational goals are not far-reaching. I go for the low-hanging fruit. So, I try not to put too much of a burden on my employees, but the jobs we've found for him, he seems to be enjoying, I think.
I mean, he's not the worst, I suppose. There's a little bit of, I wouldn't so much say hard feelings, but he did kill some of my talent a while ago. And, business interfering with business. It's, just something I'm aware of. I don't think he's aware that I'm aware. I'm not even entirely sure if he's aware. He's pretty fucking good at playing dumb. And this is coming from fucking me.
Yes, with so many levels to the performance, you may be attributing a bit more acting skills to the rest of the world than you provide. Sometimes a duck is a duck.
You know what? You're right. Though I think he's a little bit more of a penguin than a duck, to be honest.
It's funny you say that. In Hell, we do have a type of penguin that is primarily made of knives. I'll have to acquire one and bring it. I'll let you see it.
Oh wait, now I saw a little fucker carrying a doll that looked like that. Did it have like little peg legs? Did it say brah all the time? Into every sentence, brah.
Yes, you'd be surprised how much of Hell has. I think the accent here stems from the Jersey, Long Island area. It's quite popular in Hell.
Shit.
Quit burning my ass with all that fire.
But yes, if there's an issue with keeping your talent safe, I'm certain that we may be able to enter into some sort of beneficial arrangement. A little extra protection is needed from time to time.
I mean,
Especially since I'm already taking care of your lost fae for you this evening.
I mean, I do appreciate that. Don't get me wrong, and I appreciate the drinks and the conversation and the delightful company. But you and I work on a little bit different brands, and that's not a problem. We're still friends. We're still great compatriots. But I'm a little bit more on the pride side of things, a little bit more on the wrath side of things. Really, honestly, your sister, Gluttony, she's the one who's got the hots for me. It is, I hear her whisper my name every time I look someone in the eye. But your brand is solid. It's been around as long as humanity has. But it's just, you know, I crave.
If I may be so bold, you seem to enjoy diversifying your interests among me and mine. I've like we've been talking about with Vesuvius, I do have some employees that revel in a certain level of violence with their work. It seems to me to fully embrace my essence. Those who revel in the violence without actually producing violence seems even more slothful to me. All of the bluster, none of the work.
I'll make you a deal. I like deals. You like deals. Deals are fun.
I do like deals.
All right. So, here's what I'm thinking. So, what are you thinking about the terms for this contract? Little agreement.
That's a good move. That's a good move asking me first. That's usually what I do.
I know. I've studied. You know.
I may not look it, but I'm quite flexible. I specialize in what do you need most, and I can make happen.
I need captivation, and I think you're right. You probably are the one to be offering that.
You need bodies in the seats.
I need bodies in the seats.
Ideally,
more importantly, I need bodies watching to be in the seats. I need full attention. I need full captivation. I need full attention span. And then, when the show's over, I need them feeling empty and restless because they don't have the comfort of this perfectly slothful entertainment. That's what I need. In exchange,
I've got some ideas there.
In exchange, I can offer one, free merchandising, which is always lovely, and I'll donate a portion of it to I don't know, some kind of a political committee for making kids fatter or something, we'll do something for something to here's what we'll do. We'll do a little mini. We'll schedule like a 24-hour day of wrestling, and for a whole day, there will be nothing that gets done. 24 hours, sundown to sunup.
Oh, that is interesting. A
whole day of productivity lost. I can guarantee you 300,000 eyes without your help. With your help, you know, the ceiling's the fucking limit. Or at least the lowest common denominator.
Your hunger... You're good. It's infectious.
Yeah.
I prefer my contracts in writing. Make sure everyone's expectations are quite clear, so allow me to draw something up. I'll have it to you by the end of the week.
I think we can work with that, but I like I like a little bit of well, how do I put this? I like I said, I'm a hungry one. I'm fine with contracts. I appreciate a formal business arrangement as much as the next businessman, but I do. Let's see. What I'll make a bet with you. I'm a gambling man. I love to gamble. Make money. Why not spend it? On a we'll flip the coin, and on your call, we'll I'll fucking out of pocket tomorrow. Get a contractor and we'll re-cushion every seat in the arena. And if your call was wrong, then you help my friend Snoopy out tonight for free. Either way, our business agreement stands. And there's a 50-50 chance either of us comes out a little bit better off because of it.
I'm gonna need you to make a persuade roll with heart or whatever. If you've got something special for that, I think, right?
I might. I'm not actually sure.
But yes, this feels like a persuade with promises.
Okay. No, I don't think I have anything with heart.
You might have something for persuade though. No, I'm thinking of your keep your cool thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that is just going to be, I think it's a +1. +1. All right, 2d6 +1. Let's do it.
8. So on a hit, but a 7 to 9, the MC no, we're reading the wrong one. On a 7 to 9, they counter your offer or demand payment, a debt, a favor, or resources before agreeing to follow through. So their counter. The seats, it's an interesting offer, one I appreciate, but money has never been a bit of an issue for me. I could make that happen if I need to. I prefer a more tangible bet on your end. If I make the correct you've asked as your reward that the job that I'm doing for you tonight with Snoopy has no strings attached. I would say if I win the coin toss, you agree to work a job for me. To be named in the future.
An equal favor in share. I'll agree to put someone on task for you. As you aren't the one doing my deed, I can if it's something that's explicitly needed of me, that's one thing. But as it is you and I having this conversation and not being out on the street, doesn't really seem fair trade.
You're welcome to walk away. That's fine. As you mentioned, I'm perfectly happy with the agreement that we're settling on.
Fuck, all right, let's fucking do it.
All right. You can even call if you'd like.
No, that's okay. Let's and I'll look over to the bartender. Bartender, heads or tails?
Tails.
All right.
So
Heads is gonna be 1. Tails is gonna be 2.
Okay. And who is what though? Because the bartender's not in the bet. Who gets what?
I guess I'll go. Fuck. Whatever the fuck he said.
Oh, so you're tails. Okay.
All right. So that's gonna be.
You gonna roll it?
Yeah. We're gonna do this.
I figured since this is a collaborative storytelling game, it was okay for me to be the bartender.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh fuck me. It's heads.
Don't worry. I would never endanger my new business partner by making you do anything too out there. We'll find something perfectly suited for your resources.
Ah, shit. All right. Well, the next
No.
round's on you.
One moment. Vesuvius's ears must have been burning more than usual. I'm getting. It's a bit of My employees have a bit of an alarm button. They're something is wrong.
Finally checked your freaking voicemail. Whole time I'm sitting there ringing him, his phone's on silent.
Yep. And so this was at the end of our last session. Vesuvius rolled to draw Belphegor's attention directly to the gorge and got a mixed success, which scrambled the signal a little bit.
Love it.
It's something is happening. Something that unfortunately requires my attention. You seem to have a bit of investment in Vesuvius yourself. You're welcome to join me if you'd like, but I'm afraid I will need to venture out of the confines of this booth.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Why not? I'll head off with you. Yeah, another one of those real convenient incidences where we were sitting in the right place at the right time with a potential ally. That's powerful, convenient. Yeah, sure.
Like I
Fuck
said,
with me.
it's just part of my charm.
I mean, let me just sober up real quick. And it's gonna grab a bottle of gin and just slug it for a few seconds.
No need for that. It's as you're slugging it, he'll put a hand on your shoulder, and you feel like you just got like pushed out of a second story window. You almost feel like a bit of like whooshing in vertigo for a second as you are transported elsewhere with Belphegor.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah, Nikki, are you cool if we jump in with Casey? Oh no!
She was attempting to unmute
Yeah,
herself and
these
hit
freaking
leave.
buttons in
You know
Google
for a
Meets.
fact.
I know that's what happened. It's still not as bad as the time I did it and ended the call. But,
Yeah, the whole fucking stream.
Yep. Nikki will be right back with us.
And we're not doing anything else. Let's do a bio break while we wait on her.
You know what? We
If anybody's
absolutely.
wondering, my shirt says biscuit bitch. It's not. That's just Leopold's face now. It's just biscuit bitch.
I was gonna ask what the hell that shirt was, and now that I know it's my face, I like it more.
You are officially gonna be my biscuit bitch from now on.
I'm not bringing. You just want some of these Alabama Southern biscuits, don't you?
Oh, excuse me.
There we
Alabama got
go.
nothing in Mississippi when it comes to biscuits.
I'm sorry about that.
You're
No
totally
bio
good.
break then.
I hit the wrong button.
I did the same thing on the stream, but I ended the call for everybody before.
I said that's
It's
exactly.
good.
As soon as you left, I was like, "She hit the wrong button." I know it because I could even almost tell your eyes like trailing up, like on your screen, going to like
It's-
hit a button, and
it's-
then it went boop.
It's because the button colors in Google Meet are different than they are in Zoom and are different than
Yeah.
they are in every other freaking thing.
Yep.
But yeah, are you cool if we jump to Casey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where we left off with Casey last week was in the arms of a werewolf. You were being spirited away from Jean's shallow pool. And Lane is just kind of trucking it. She's got some werewolf speed. They can. Most of the members of Night have a bit of supernatural, superhuman, strength, agility, that kind of thing. And you could just kind of hear her, muttering to you as y'all are running. She's, did I do all of this to you? Like, how in the hell did you get this banged up? We need to get you to a. Do you have like a hospital for your folk, or where are we going?
Where are we going again?
Right now she's just trying to figure out someplace that can heal you up because you were. She unwolfed and saw that you looked very hurt.
Yeah, because I know most of it was from healing her, right?
At least half of it was from her. Yeah. Oh man. Oh jeez. It's. I mean, we could go to a normal hospital, but is it? Are you obviously, like, if a doctor looks at you, is it obvious that you're not human? Because I know I could cover up most of my stuff when they're looking at me.
Is she like bleeding sparkles.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think you hurt her. Or do you mean is Casey bleeding
Yeah,
sparkles?
it's Casey.
If you want her to be, then yes.
Yes.
That is your call.
Yes. So definitely not human.
We could tell the craft store is right down the road. We could tell them there was a arts and craft accident. Glitter was involved.
Oh no!
The other person came at you with a hot glue gun or something. It's your call.
Out of character, where would she go? Because I forgot what we said last week.
Oh no! So, it's essentially anytime you wanted a place. Like if you told me you just wanted to go somewhere that could like patch you up, we could always roll the move that's hit the streets, which is like we create an NPC together. You say like I want to go find like someone in Mortalis that can help me not be so close to dying type thing, and then we roll and see if you can find that person and if they're busy with shit right now.
Okay, let's do that.
But there is also, you can do that. There is also the sound of an ambulance coming your way.
Okay, I'm going to say that, and then I just like pass out.
Oh, Jesus. I think. Are you, just out of curiosity, just for my benefit, are you fully passed out, or faking passed out, or actually passed out?
Actually passed out.
Okay. If you were awake,
Too many sparkles are gone.
If you were awake, you would see in your lane freaking out, not sure what to do. She like sets you down on like a bench on the nearby sidewalk and is just waving down the ambulance. And I think you have no idea how much time has passed, but the next thing you know, you are getting woken up to the feeling of a needle.
Okay.
You appear to be in the back of an ambulance. And there is an EMT hovering over you with like this icy blue hair, and you can, if you'd like, you could put a face to a name with Night to see if you know this person.
Yes, let me roll for that.
And for you, that is 2d6 minus 1.
Okay. I'm going on dinner. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm never prepared. Yeah, I figured it'd be more scary if she just kind of passed out.
Yes. Lane is in the ambulance with you, looking terrified.
So D20 plus what?
2d6 minus 1 for your night
D6.
stat.
Oh, sorry, -1. Okay, perfect.
So it is 2d6, so you get one more d6. And if you get a 6 on it, it could be a 7. Which is not bad. Okay.
That's almost as low as you can go.
So, luckily...
Well, you know what? This is because she's so passed out.
Yep. Everything's a blur as you're waking up. And it's luckily with Put a Face to a Name, which is the move we just rolled. On a miss, the only consequences are you don't know who this person is, or you know them and you owe them a debt already.
Okay.
You know that this is Brooks. He is another werewolf that works along the beach as an EMT. What would Brooks have done for you in the past that you would owe him a debt for?
Probably the same thing.
This is not the first time he's brought you back from the brink of death.
Yeah.
Any specific cause last time? Just out of curiosity.
Probably she was out with Vesuvius and he got her into trouble. And I don't know, came across a demon heist or something.
Oh no.
And I don't know, she was doing her normal Casey thing and walked in there like she belonged there and got in a crossfire.
Yeah.
Sorry to just throw that on you, Vesuvius.
Please. That's I love it. Yeah, you do recognize Brooks as you start coming to. It looks like he has placed like an IV and is giving you. Um, he's holding he's got a bag of fluids nearby, and Lane is like, she was like curling up a bit, like freaking out, like hands in like the big blonde mane of her hair. And as soon as she hears you move, or like she senses you move next to her, you just hear like a giant sigh. She like drops like 10 levels of tension, right? And I think Brooks is like, I should really stop finding you like this. This is happening a lot. How many me's do you see right now?
2.
Okay, that's better than last time. We got a lot less ground to cover there. Once we get down to 1, let me know, because we're on better ground in there. Yeah, it's this is you're probably my most repeat Faye customer. To be honest, so it's this little blend I've got going is not like perfect, but I think it's gonna do the job. You do see whatever medical cocktail he has mixed up. You've healed, like some of your cuts have started closing up, and you can take off your faint injury because you start healing from the bottom.
Okay. Hey, your cinnamon rolls are on me. Again,
yeah, it's no. Don't get me wrong. They're really good. I'm perfectly happy just coming to the store and getting them the normal way. You don't have to you don't have to go through all this trouble if you just want me to try the cinnamon rolls.
there's 1.5 of you now.
Oh, perfect. This is it's going faster than I thought it would. This is good. This is a good sign. Lane, what the
Is Lane okay?
Oh yeah,
Is she injured?
I mean, like injured is like subjective for us, right? She's fine. She's not dying, so she can wait her turn.
Okay, make sure she's okay.
She's doing a lot better now that you're awake, to be honest. So don't worry too much. She'll be fine. So I take it. I assume we're not going to the hospital. Where? Is
No,
this like
because
a home
the nurse
time
last
now?
time passed out when she saw me when I went to the hospital.
Well, that could have gone worse. There's worse ways that could have gone. I guess I mean, like, do you have a place to like rest up and take it easy for the night? Like, not that I'm, this is probably one of those like bed rest, don't go out and do a whole bunch of like really active stuff type situations here.
Oh, but I've got this letter. I have to. My sister told me there was something at the. That's what it was. There was something at the club, right?
Yeah, your sister had sent you to Jean Shallowpool, and in the course of investigating the bar for the thing she sent you, the rolls for last week were not in anyone's favor for anything,
No.
And then we found Lane instead.
No, I got to get back to the bar fight.
So I've got a problem with both of those words there. You should not be going to a fight tonight, or a bar tonight, or a bar fight tonight. Bar fight probably higher than the other two, but none of that sounds good.
Oh.
I mean, I can't stop you, obviously. I mean, maybe I could. I don't want to. I'm not in the business of like restraining patients. That's not my thing. Do what you're gonna do, I guess. I don't have an unlimited supply of this. And just taps the bag.
Okay, I guess I'll go back to work.
Where do you have a bed? Get a bed
At work.
Where do you work? You're not supposed. Do they make you sleep there?
At the restaurant.
I think he's just looking between you and Lane for like somebody to tell him what's going on here. It's like, is she trapped in a restaurant? Like, what is happening here?
No, I live in the tower above the restaurant.
Is someone keeping you in there? Is someone keeping her in a tower?
Just Joey. He owns the place.
I am befuddled. I have no response.
I stay in a tower and I work there for a bit.
Okay. Sure. You, and he's pointing at Lane. He's like, make sure she doesn't die tonight, please. Where is your tower restaurant?
Cinderella's castle.
Sure. he will lean forward to where there is some driver that's just been sitting there quietly listening to this whole conversation. Just like, take us to the castle, I guess.
And she's like going on about, I don't know, some restaurant chore that she didn't do.
It's like, still not having knowing that Lane is not freaked out, he's calmed himself a little, but everything he's just like, what? Like, misinterpreting this.
Yeah.
It's
It's not helped by she's like saying she has to sweep the floors tonight.
This sounds like something a fae would like self-induce on themselves to live some sort of quirky fairy tale lifestyle as a joke to themselves, but more than something
Or
that's actually happening. Yeah, that just Joey could be the nicest guy. We don't know. We haven't met him yet. We need more details on this situation.
She feels guilty about the whole breaking her world.
For some reason she feels a little bit guilty about like potentially destroying her court. Who knows? Yeah. But so I think Lane is sitting with you on the ride back, and she's just like, what were you looking for at the bar there? I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember some things.
Well, how did you end up in the freezer?
I mean, it was the walk-in.
It was cold.
Zan made a very big point that he wasn't putting her in the freezer. I mean, it was. I had fur at the time, so I was okay on that front.
But you were still just shoved into a cold area and forgotten about.
So, the bits I remember, I made a couple mistakes earlier in the night. I wound up at Jane's. Something kind of mistakes happened, and I transformed, and I think you're friends with Don, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think I tried to eat his throat.
Okay. What did he do? Did he deserve it?
Not tonight.
Oh, okay.
Nothing tonight. But that was a my bad. That wasn't a him thing. And then I believe.
Well, he should have just left you alone.
I mean, it's probably maybe, but I think I made the first move there. It is all blurry, but probably better that he did put. I was not in my right mind. I was in an altered state of conscious. So probably better that I was in the walk-in instead of on one of the other customers. That.
Oh, do you have one of those bad tacos?
In that might be slang for it somewhere in part of town. Yes. If you want to get more details from her too, you could also try to figure someone out to get at some of the things she's skating around. I believe that is a roll with mind. Yeah, figure someone out. Roll with mind.
Can you tell me what that is?
I sure can. Your mind is 1, so 2d6 plus 1.
Okay, I'm gonna get this right this time. 9.
9, yeah. So that is a mixed success, which on a 7 to 9. So there's a list of questions. On a hit, you get to ask 2. On a 7 to 9, they get to ask one of you as well. So the list of questions is who is pulling this character's strings, what's your character's beef with, fill in the blank. So you could say like what's your beef with Don or that kind of thing. What's your character hoping to get from, and you could fill in the blank with whatever you'd like there. What does your character worry is going to happen? How could I get your character to blank? So like you could get her like how could I get your character to open up and tell me what happened? That kind of you could fill in that blank with whatever you want, or how you could get her in your debt. And you get 2 of those.
Okay, how to get her to open up and how to get her in my debt.
Okay. You could get her to open. You could get her in your debt if you keep her secret once she does open up. And I think how you could get her to open up is I think she literally just needs any light amount of pressure applied from you. Like, in the sense of, like, she's clearly skating around it. If you were just like, well, if it wasn't a bad taco, what was it? Like, if you press it at all, like, she's so exasperated enough that she'll open up to you. She's just not gonna come out and say it.
Okay. Well, if it wasn't a bad taco, what made you so sick?
So have you heard of Gorge? Do you know what that is?
Out of character, have I?
Out of character, it is Gorge is a supernatural drug around town. It is most commonly used as a kind of like a performance enhancer in like rough jobs. So essentially, it captures the essence of like a vampire or a natural predator when they're hungry. So it kind of like captures that essence on the hunt. So obviously, it can like increase like strength, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's I took some of that was probably not of good quality. It was I met with. So I was I met this group that I couldn't get it from my normal person, and I ran into some folks that it's gonna sound weird, but I smelt it on them. Like I kind of knew, and they offered to just trade me some if I helped them out with something. They were trying to. They're doing a little bit of experimenting, I guess. I assume with the recipe, and I just helped out with a little experiment. And apparently, I should probably let them know that batch was not the best.
Don't get no more from them.
Put that in the research, I think.
Don't get no more for them.
No, I'm not planning on it. At least not until I'd want to see some real good testimonials that they've really worked the kinks out of that before I give that another try.
Well, why don't we just find you a couple other sources that don't mess with it?
That too, yeah, that's an option. But yeah, it's there was a point to all that. Oh, so I don't remember everything, but I definitely bit into Don. And then I was in the walk-in, and then I was on top of you, which I'm sorry about. I'm sorry about. Should we check if your friend is? Should we check if Don is okay?
Well, he left. He walked out of there.
He like walk out, or did he like stumble out, like bleeding into like a gutter?
He just walked out.
All right, that's good. Do vampires bleed? I guess he might bleed. I don't.
Well, he seemed okay.
Okay, good. I guess he's kind of my boss. That's gonna be a whole discussion, I bet.
You want me to talk to him for you?
I mean, if you've got something on him that would put him in a forgiving mood, I would not say no.
I don't. Do I?
But yeah, I mean, don't go out of your way. It is my mess to clean up. I will clean it up. I was just if you said if he got out of there fine and he does not need us checking in on him, all the better.
I'm not even sure where he went. Did Don tell us where he went? Or tell?
Don't believe so. Zan, what do you want to remind me what you shouted to Casey as you fled the other direction?
Yeah, I think I shouted something to the effect of, "Oh fuck, I can't believe she just threw a fucking bottle at that guy. What a fucking who would do that? Why would you fucking throw a bottle at a random stranger like that? Jesus Christ." Something to that effect. Before I threw another bottle and then ran away.
Yep.
Good one. You showed those bottle throwers
Yeah.
how it's
you know.
done.
Mm.
Okay, well, I'll send him a text message to make sure he's okay.
Thank you. I mean, don't mention me just yet. I'm gonna piece together the best way to salvage that working relationship. I mean, I'm sure that kind of thing happens in the ring all the time. He's probably used to it. It was probably just I'm gonna stop talking now. You let me know how that text goes.
I'm just gonna text Don and say, got out of the bar fight. Are you okay?
Yes, Don, you have just been whooshed out of the bar and find yourself now, instead of sitting on a nice padded lounge chair, you and Belphegor are both seated on the hood of a car. Looks like a rental. And you get Nikki's text, or you get Casey's text.
I'm just gonna reply with a selfie with my thumb slightly on the camera, completely intentionally, but just a selfie of me and Belphegor just holding up a bottle of Don with a big hand-rolled cigarette hanging out of his mouth, just in the bushy beard, just like holding up the half-empty bottle of liquor, just besties.
Does Casey know who Belphegor is?
You can put a face to a name with Wild and find out.
Okay, yeah. So
Move
Wild
time.
was +1, correct?
Yep, your Wild is +1. 2d6 +1.
Okay, I'm trying to type my roll in. I just keep typing random letters because I obviously don't know how to press the buttons.
9 again. So on a 7 to 9 with put a face to a name, you know what the average person knows about them. Belphegor is a demon patron. Pretty big name. He's probably one of the, at least from a reputation standpoint, he's one of the biggest names in town in the demon community, because he's also the embodiment of the sin of sloth. So he's got one of the 7 deadly sin titles. So he's been around a long time, and you would also know that he is Vesuvius's patron.
Oh, that's Don is with Bill Gore. You know, that demon guy.
Oh,
Bill
Bill.
Bill Gore. That sounds perfect. That would be the perfect thing if that was all that you remembered from his name. He would love that.
I mean,
He's just this big old evil boss guy, demon person.
Yep, yep. Well, on the good side, I think if anything happens to him at this point, it's probably the demon's fault and not mine. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't tell him to go hanging out with Billy.
where? She's kind of like peeking over your shoulder, like, are they just drinking in a parking lot? Where the hell are they?
I think so. What kind of drink does he have?
It is going to be a bottle of Gilbert's gin, with what looks to be like half of a strawberry and maybe a candy cane, like a fractured piece of a candy cane just floating in the bottle. Like, definitely things that were put in there, like, hey, you want to see me put a fucking weird thing in my drink? No? Alright, I'm gonna do it anyway. Watch this shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Billy just in one hand is rocking like a whole fishbowl to himself.
I'm going to like point like, look what they got. Look at those drinks they got. How did they get those?
I mean, I feel like he's probably I don't think, as far as I know, there aren't any alcohol brands that are sponsoring the league yet. So probably from Billy.
Well, I want that.
Should we? I mean, does he owe us one for leaving? Do you have anything you could pull on him, and we could just roll up like, hey, you got. So we, she starts whispering, remembering Brooks is in the ambulance still with you. So, I mean, if we're gonna go, we should go together and be safe. And then we can. I don't have a great justification for it. I'm just, if we want drinks, then we should get that. We should get him to pay for it, right?
Yeah, let's go get some drinks. I won't get killed, promise. You don't get killed either.
Do you want to ask him where they're at? Like what parking lot party we should go to?
Yeah. Let me just text that question.
Or else I could try and like sniff him out if I need to, but like this is probably faster, is what I tend to find.
So, Don, you get a "Where are you?" text.
Literally just remembered you have no idea where you are.
So vague.
Yeah, Don, that's fine though. Don's just gonna put why.
Oh my God.
Why?
What am I going to type? Because I want to drink. And then I'm going to call. Yeah, I'm interrupting your big bad demon meeting for this.
Yeah,
so.
I think you probably hear. As they're just typing on the, hitting the pad on the screen, trying to figure out why they're doing a call.
You hit the answer button.
No, I know.
They put it on video.
I didn't fucking say answer. I didn't say ahoy hoy.
No, that's the camera. Now you're hitting the camera.
Yeah, turn it on. Turn it on.
What?
Hi.
What?
First timing.
I think it's like still catching up to the number of times that I tapped on the screen, and so the camera keeps switching.
The camera's
to,
flipping
my
between
feet, my face, my feet, my face.
Hey, where are you? Come on. We want to see you.
I don't fucking know.
Billy, where are you?
I think
I'm
we're
on a fucking car.
Yes, we're at a car. I think we're at the gorge. That looks like a gorge. Is there more than one big hole in this town that I don't know about yet?
We're at the big hole.
Okay, I'll see you. We'll see you, Don and Billy.
Okay, well that's fucking done. Oh shit. Why am I still looking at my feet? Does that mean I'm still?
You're still
No, I
on the
didn't.
phone.
I hung up. It's fine.
Oh,
He is not hung
I
up.
definitely hung up.
it'd be funny if he was.
Okay. All right. So, you got any fucking Genesis on there? Like, is that true? Is Genesis really like you're playing backwards? To say like, Satan steal my soul? Shit. Or is that just a fucking rumor?
I can get no demons were actually involved in that. That was all human bullshit. But yes.
Oh fuck. Right. It is fucking evil. Okay. All right. So, all right. Sorry. It's I know he's fucking against your thing, but we gotta just a city boy. All right. Just go fucking turn it up a little bit.
He's like one arm chugging the fishbowl that he's got.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. So it's before we cut away from the ambulance. I guess important question is: are Casey and Lane trying to get the ambulance now to take them out to a gorge in the middle of nowhere, or are you gonna get dropped off at your house and then get another ride?
She's going to try to get him to take her to the court.
I think that's gonna require a persuasion roll. Or you could. So it's. I mean, there's more than one type of social roll. So it's you could. You could try and mislead, distract, or trick someone into somehow taking you to the gorge. Although that's typically more for like distracting someone or that kind of thing. It could still work if you want to trick him, or you could try and persuade them either through seduction, promises, or threats.
Persuade through promises.
Okay. So what are you promising Brooks to redirect the ambulance?
That I will not get hurt.
Okay.
And that I will go home right after I finish at the gorge.
Right, and what are you doing at the gorge when you get there?
I'm going to make sure my friend Don is okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll me persuade an NPC, which is with heart.
Okay, what do I have for heart?
Let's find out. I think you have a 1. You are
Okay.
very well rounded. You're at 1 for pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'll get him a band-aid and everything. You have any band-aids with the kitty cats on them?
He does start going through some clearly like pediatric band-aid drawers.
Nice.
He's got like some SpongeBob options, some Care Bear options.
Ooh, Care Bear.
Ooh, so that is a 10. So that is a full success. On a hit, they see your point and do as you ask. No complications. So yeah, he will take you to the gorge.
And do I have the Care Bear band-aid?
If you'd like you can take the box of Care Bear bandages with you.
Okay.
Now, does your friend need me to look at him too?
Well, probably wouldn't hurt.
I should be tagging along. Should I be prepared for anything?
You would have seen on the call that while my stuff is ripped up pretty fucking good, there is definitely. Oh no, I did take some armor. Never mind. Nope, it looks like some of the skin underneath some of the places had healed up, and then there's just other places that haven't.
Well, you might.
Usually
I
fresh armor.
don't know if this Care Bear band-aids are enough. They might be, but you got the nice bandages.
It's because it depends. Not you have to know the bear has to match the specific kind of injury. So like the Shamrock Bear is like specifically if you've got punched in the eye, you got a shiner. You don't put it over the eye, but just anywhere on the body will help. And then
And as you say that, I'm putting a Care Bear bandage over my eye.
the car ride to the gorge then proceeds with him describing in detail what each bandage is best for based on the Care Bear on it. Yeah, so that is Casey's en route to the gorge with an entourage in an ambulance. Who would we like to jump to next? Who's feeling gorge ready? Let's do some Vesuvius. You've been waiting patiently.
No, I've just been enjoying watching all of this unfold out behind the scenes while my character's just like waiting to either kill everyone or die. He feels like there's only 2 options here.
I mean, that is Vesuvius can think what he'd like to think, but there's always so many options.
Well, these are the 2 best options.
Those are the 2 Vesuvius options. But yeah, it's where we left off with Vesuvius last time was you, the good reverend, and Gloves kind of on an overlook as a ritual that appeared to be consisting of 5 tainted began. And it appeared like the tainted demon parts of them were being ripped out of their bodies.
Had that succeeded?
It had just started.
Okay. I really very much would like to try and interrupt it. Let's see.
So, I will say, if you want to do that, I have a custom move that is specifically for when you try to interrupt a ritual of the Second Ark.
Cool. Okay. Well, I would like to I would like to do the mislead, distract, or trick move on the people in my immediate vicinity before doing that move. Is that possible?
Absolutely. Yeah. How are you
Okay.
misleading, distracting, or tricking? Kind of where we left things out. It was at least the Reverend was engaging you in what he would consider polite conversation, explaining that what he is doing is to save the city and that you can be a part of it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna say, well, you've been surprisingly cordial about all of this. However, I unfortunately must decline because what you're doing is honestly very much the opposite of my own personal mission. Uh, uh, so I guess this really leaves leaves it up to you to make a choice for yourself and your congregation. You could either all most likely meet your end here in the gorge, uh, or we can go ahead and stop this little ritual in its tracks, and you can find other people to prey on outside of those who have made bonds with the infernal, and we can go about our days. So, what choice would you be making, Reverend?
So it actually, at least to me, it sounds like you were trying to persuade him with threats.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Why don't you roll with heart for me?
All right. That
Unless
is
you've got something that changes what you roll with for it.
no. Which
It is with heart, which for you is a 1.
so that's persuade NPC.
Yep, persuade an
Okay.
NPC through threats, promises, or seduction.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right. I do not have anything that changes it to heart.
I will say, just to brace you for the roll, there is, if you succeed, there's only so much you can do about the ritual once it's started, but it
Oh.
will influence essentially how he reacts and treats you.
Oh, for sure. No, I have no preconceived notion of how this is going to go. I'm just going to roll it, and I'm going to let you tell me what happens. Ooh, a 7, so barely.
Yeah. So on a 7 to 9, they counter your offer or demand payment, a debt, favor, or resource before agreeing to follow through.
All right. Let me know.
Vesuvius, my boy. If it's going by the conversation so far, I take it you'd prefer that name. Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
There's only what has begun down there cannot be interrupted without great sacrifice. We can discuss going forward the relationship that you have with us if you'd like. I feel like the reason I asked Gloves here to bring you to me was because I think you have the wrong idea of what my goal is here, which I think you've already started to see for yourself, but don't still understand the full scope of. I was brought to Ruby Tooth Bay to save it. I don't just say that out of pride or bravado. I was given a vision. I had a vision read to me. There is a great flood coming for the city, and I was told that I am critical to whether the city can weather it or not, and that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that as many people do. Your patron, donor of power, whatever term you prefer, they seem to be the biggest threat to making sure that happens. Right now, the city needs action. It needs those of focused mind and spirit to be acting to prevent the coming disaster. What it doesn't need is decay and largesse and atrophy. His influence in the city needs to be cut for it to survive. If you could convince him to not interfere with what I'm working on, we would not, as you said, we would no longer need to be enemies. Or at odds.
Or any of the tainted, I can't remember any of this out of character, or any of the tainted in the circle under Belphegor, or were they any of Belphegor's people?
You recognize, like, the one that you knew the best. It definitely is. You're not sure if they're all Belphegor's people or not.
I say, I know at least one of these people is directly working with Belphegor, and uh, can I retcon that slightly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna say at least one of these people works for my patron. I don't know about the others. Maybe I haven't met them. There's no convincing him to not free them. The others, I suppose it would depend on his relationship with their patrons, correct? It's generally how it works. If you know
Generally,
anything about their hierarchy.
I know more than you might suspect about infernal contracts.
That's a conversation for a different day if
Yep.
you all
If
make
you-
it through this.
If you wanted to have this conversation today, you've also got the figure someone out move when someone's withholding information or you want to dive deeper into things.
I'm going to do that anyway
I was
because
going to say, don't let that mess up your flow if you just want to keep pushing him, but since we're all still pretty new to things, I just want to keep reminding you all of the things you've got access to.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out a way to. Okay.
it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Start back in character. Well, he's already on his way. So I advise if you want people here to survive the night, then you should probably at least free that person. And I point to the NPC that I know specifically.
We named one of them Domino as another tainted that you knew last week from
Domino,
Belphegor's
yeah.
crew.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I pointed them.
You are more than welcome to try and pull them free if you'd like. I wouldn't recommend the risk involved, personally, and I'm not going to do so myself.
Have you started something that is out of your hands at this point?
Yes and no. This place is special. What's happening down there is not. Yes, it takes power from your boss by removing his influence over these souls. But more importantly, the foulness that is being withdrawn will be a battery for what this place needs when we need it.
And what exactly is foul about the power inherent within these people? Is it just a
the hell power from the demons,
oh, and that's
from
foul?
the pits?
That is something you would believe to be foul from your life perspective.
Yes, I did not always think so, but age has brought a certain clarity that the easy choice to power is not the most useful in the long run.
Well, I believe this conversation can proceed no more. I don't believe we will gain anything from it, and it's honestly just a waste of time. So you may want to step back for a moment.
When you say I feel like this is a waste of time, Gloves behind you just is like, told you so. Like she clearly didn't think you'd want to hear any of this shit.
And I just quietly say, you may want to step back for a moment, and then I'm going to roll blood and turn into a big old scary demon. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Woo, boy, yeah!
One other thing,
Hellfire!
in case it gives you any information you wanted, before we do that, just because we haven't gotten to use this move very much.
Figure someone out. You want me to roll it?
No, it's. I mean, you can if you'd like. There's also study a place of power if you're trying to just gather information,
Oh,
like
yes.
looking around the pit.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Maybe I'll do an assessment right before I tap into the juice. You
Because
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
like the whole time you've been just like observing the pit. So I feel like that's something you've been doing.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
going to, and it's controlled by wild.
it is controlled by wild. Yes,
Sweet. That means
that's a good
that means
guess.
I'm gonna level up.
That was a
I'm
good
gonna level
guess.
up tonight, boy. All right, 12.
Oh shit!
What?
Really?
Tell me everything.
Yes. So
All the things to know.
on when you study a sanctuary, gathering spot, or place of power, roll with the circle that controls it. Wild. On a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath. Ask the MC one question about the schemes and politics of the circle in question. On a 10 plus, your insights grant you +1 forward against that circle during the faction turn. So write that down for yourself. So the faction turn is essentially what happens when we do a time skip. So anything you do against wild in the coming time skip, you've got +1 forward too.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in my notes real quick. +1
Yes.
versus wild during faction turn. All right, cool. And see, I'm gonna
Yes.
turn into
Well,
turn
so
into a demon.
you get a bunch of information for that.
Oh, cool. Well, the only information
Yeah.
I need is whether or not his face melts off
Let
after I do this next move.
Yeah, actually,
But
why don't you do your transformation? And we'll describe it as that's happening too, like something
okay,
about
cool.
your going into your demon form. You get a glimpse of what's going on here.
I like it. Okay, so let's roll first and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're working a job for your patron, is this a job for my patron?
So it's not an official job for your patron. What are your duties again? Like you've got some specific things that you
Oh,
chose as what the things you do.
yeah, I forgot to bold them. Okay, but I remember it was assassinating my patron's enemies, which I think that counts, and collecting souls. Those are the two.
Yeah,
I need to hold on.
You know what? I'm going to say. Fuck it. Let's go with yes because it's cool. Whether it counts. Yes for you getting an extra thing here for it. I think I'm gonna make you persuade Belphegor later for getting the benefit of doing a job from your patron just flat out, because that's usually stuff he sends you to do. But I feel like you can persuade him and make him a pitch for the shit where it's like you get a debt on him.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. Okay, so my transformation starts off with my skin burning off and charring fairly rapidly, and then it just sort of falls to ash. And then what's left is charred bone with glowing demonic runes carved into them, glowing fiery red. And then my eyes and mouth and nose just sort of give off this almost like black shadowy energy, and these flaming daggers like erupt around my head like a radiant crown. And depending on what, that's kind of just my base form, and depending on what I roll kind of can determine a couple of other things.
Yep. You get a bunch of goodies depending on how you roll.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll now. And so pick one more card. I'm probably gonna mark corruption too, because I'm like a candle I will burn. A 14
Yeah,
on.
I think that's
ridiculous.
I think you're gonna get all the good stuff. When you assume your demon form, roll with blood on a 10 plus, you pick 3.
Yeah. Plus I'm working for my patron,
and
so
you're
that's
marking
4.
a corruption, so that's
5. Yeah. So I'm going to.
Of which there's only 6 options here, I think. So you get all of them but 1.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do. What's +1 forward mean?
Let's see.
It says take +1 forward.
That means, Okay, so if it says take what +1 forward, that's on your next roll, you get to add 1 to it.
Oh.
If it said take +1 forward ongoing,
Yeah.
then usually it has like a clause for where the ongoing ends, and you keep adding +1. But since it doesn't say that, I think that means you just get it to your next roll.
Okay, so I gain these abilities, right? And these are things I can just use. Like, so the heal 2 harm thing is something I can use on myself, right? Like,
So it's you would heal 2 harm now.
oh, I
during
don't
the
need to.
transformation.
So
if
that's
you,
the only one I won't pick. So I'll pick everything but heal 2 harm.
Yeah. So you get an extra armor for that, and you already have 1 armor to begin with, so you've got 2 armor, I believe, now.
Yeah.
You take +1 forward. And then you get a demonic weapon, demonic movement, and demonic senses. Tell us about those.
Okay, so I'm going to. Okay, so I'm going to get a breath weapon that's going to do 2 harm close as my demonic weapon.
Nice.
So I said that like my eyes and nose and mouth like gave off that like shadowy energy. My mouth now it has ignited, and it's just kind of constantly on fire. And it slowly kind of lights up the rest of my skull. So now my eyes and everything hollow in my skeletal form is kind of glowing with fire now. And then I'm also, as far as my demonic movement goes, flaming, like essentially like angelic wings, but they're made of fire, like erupt out of my back, and gives me flight. Yeah, and then my eyes at the end of the transformation erupt into like a blue flame to sort of represent like my infrared vision and whatnot from being a demon. So.
Yeah, I think it's as the blue flame erupts around your eyes that you see through to the reality of the Crimson Root Gorge.
Yeah.
You see almost like on like a sci-fi HUD, like you see these red roots show up, like just traversing, snaking all and interwrapping all through the ground of this sinkhole. It's there, you know that there's areas like you should be able to see, and like if there were roots there, you would see them. The roots appear hidden to normal sense, and they keep going down, like as far as you can see. And from like the crux where they start intertwining and meeting, you see that going down beneath the ritual circle where the tainted are, and the circle there in your vision, it starts almost like accordioning out and like unfolding, and you see that this spot, the membrane between worlds and planes, something happened to it here, and it's paper thin. You see that like movement between, just you say for instance like hell and the Feywild, the Arcadia would be more easy in this place than normal. It would be easier for somebody to traverse that. But not even just that, it's even though those are the major planes of existence that you're used to dealing with folks from, you're seeing these like flashes of other spaces in between. You see like a realm that looks like all mirrors and reflection. A realm that's all sky except for almost like floating pinpoint fireflies of light. And it just keeps cycling in front of you like a big multiverse that's all cruxed at this spot.
Damn.
And connecting the accordion, wrapping its way through all of it. It's unclear if it's a snake or a tentacle or what exactly or something that you don't have the words to assign what the name of it is. But it's some sort of like wrapping through the whole thing is this bright blood red tubular structure that it almost looks like scales on the side, giant scales that the closer that you see look like jagged, look like sharp canines, like teeth. And this ruby-toothed scale creature, the scales peel back and it's just all eyes connecting all of these worlds. And then you're brought back. You can ask one question about the schemes and politics of Wild here.
Um, yeah, okay.
Sorry, I know that was a lot.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just now like snapping back into I'm snapping out of the Clive Barker film now, and now I'm back into real life. Uh, yeah, okay. I would like to know what their security detail is like. Like how many threats do I have to deal with here?
So, bit of a
Like
thing.
what's
So the group here, so the Reverence group is, they're actually, you get from this vision, they're not actually in control of this location. They're
yeah.
using it, but they're not the power behind it.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, so
It's him and his flock here, and it's obviously he and Gloves are the two primary members of it.
can I ask a better question then?
Sure.
All right. Who might be is there anybody else aside from them that might be feeding off of the power here? That may even know more about what's going on here.
Yeah, I think with how high you rolled, one essentially any like status 3 member, like any super high member of Wild would have a good idea probably of what this place is. So Belphegor would probably know what this place does. But it's, I think, just from the observation of it, they are not feeding off of the power themselves. It's they are essentially, they're charging up the land here like a battery, like for the actual location to do something in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's as we flash back to Vesuvius in their full fucking fiery demon form, coming off of this otherworldly snake tentacle eye creature. I think that's a good place to take a quick bio break before we pop back up and dive into the whole crew together for the first time at the gorge.
I'm 9 feet tall. I'm a 9 foot tall burning skeleton. All right, cool.
As you do. I thought that was implied.
I just wanted everyone to know how tall I was. I'm not normal.
All right. Well, we will be back real quick. So hold on. Hang out for us.
Unimpressed. That was a good form.
We're back. That was weird. That was a weird.
We're back.
Don't know what I was going for there, but it happened, and here we are. Yes, and we are at a sinkhole / gorge / like noose resting place nest of some sort of extra dimensional tentacle eye thing. Who knows? But there's rituals and shit happening. One of our people has gone full demon with fire breath and special eyes, and we're gonna see how into this bullshit the whole rest of our crew wants to get. Jumping back in with Olive, who is had a series of quick visions up on that ridge, and now there's demons and shit.
It's
also, just to help y'all out, while I think of it in terms of us, anything y'all need marked wise, because there's a lot of NPCs that are all conglomerating at this place, and it's a place of power for Wild, as we just saw. If y'all need to mark Wild and want to examine the place like Vesuvius did, feel free to do that. And if any of the characters are from a faction that y'all need to mark, just let me know and we'll face to enam them. But just so I'm not asking about every single person. Does that all sound cool? Everybody
yes.
Good with that? So anything y'all have fresh, just let me know and we'll probably run into something.
So I am going to I think I am going to investigate a place of power.
Yeah.
So that's Wild.
A Wild roll.
Great.
And we'll see if you get any extra info. anything more than we've already covered.
That's a 10.
On a 10, yeah. So I think that's going to get you all the information that Leland or that Vesuvius got.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a hit, you see below the surface of the reality underneath. You also get to ask me a question about the schemes and politics of Wild, and you also write down for your notes. It's a 10. If you make any moves against Wild in the faction turn, you get a +1 forward against them.
Cool.
You get to add one to a roll later.
Oh, love that. I'm gonna put that somewhere. +1 against Wild for like a bit. Cool. So, I get to ask you something else, or no?
You get to ask we'll say, because I guess your visions, maybe they do come in threes. So trying to study this place, we'll say all of your eyes open to all of your special eyes, and you also see this like kaleidoscope of planes and realities, kind of with
our snake friend.
Oh yeah, yep. And essentially, it's like the walls are just kind of like plasterboard at this point. Like it's got the walls in the apartment complex that this reality occupies are very thin at this spot.
Right. So I guess like what I would be wondering is, let me recap in my own head, is that Wild is kind of really operating here, and this Second Ark situation is they are doing something for Wild using the power of this place.
Is that the question?
Is that
because I can expand on that quite a bit for you, and I think
that's kind of what I'm wondering about. Is like, I guess what Olive is wondering is like, basically like, who do I need to target to get this shit to not happen?
Got it. So it's a little bit tough because Wild, essentially the land itself is a part of Wild, and Wild is very much about like the alien, the otherworldly, moving things between planes, moving weird shit from one place to another.
Yes.
So like the land itself here is infused with Wild, but there's not so much a master Wild manipulator pulling the strings of the Second Ark. They're essentially trying to power up a Wild infused area and use it how the Wild would use it. Essentially, probably you get the sense they're probably going to use it to transport something somewhere or to bring something here, is typically how those things work.
Okay. Would I know or have any idea as to is there any indication that Wild knows that, is okay with it? Is this a sign of two factions working together? Or are these people just sort of essentially metaphorically squatting on Wild turf right now?
Probably the latter. At least the land itself has no evidence of anybody in Wild that would be actively contributing or allowing it to happen.
Right.
They might have some opinions on it if you asked them, but nobody's currently entangled there.
Great, because I have a question about... Well, I actually now have a couple of questions, weirdly.
That tends to be how it goes.
So I see... Where's my brain? Not debt moves. I have consult your contacts.
That is a city move. That is done during essentially downtime.
Okay, during hanging. Okay,
yeah. That is something you could do during your faction turn.
Great, love all of that. So I have under Let It Out.
Mm-hmm.
Weaken or redirect an existing magical spell or phenomenon.
Okay.
Under Let It Out.
Yep.
Is that something that I could do now if I did okay with Let It Out?
I mean, it's something you could try and do now regardless of how the roll goes.
Well, right.
We'll see what happens.
But is this a time where?
I mean, this is certainly an existing magical phenomenon happening.
Okay, because I also have twist the strands of fate to help or hinder an NPC in your presence.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you've got quite a few things that you could do there.
Right.
I'd probably do one at a time in case one of them blows up in your face first.
Well, right. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll. Let it out.
What are we trying to do first before we roll?
So
before we know if this goes well or not, what is our goal?
So I guess so he's talked. I didn't hear any of the conversation with Vesuvius about the coming flood.
I don't know how close you and Bruin got, or if either of you can read. Well, I guess no. He still had lips at that point because that was before he transformed. Yeah. So if either of you could read lips or got very close, you could. I will leave that up to you for how cautious you were being.
Okay, but I mean, I also kind of had a whole bunch of visions about
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's as a remind. You may recall a vision that you had for one Triveria Submerso with a bunch of imagery and shit going on. When you were coming out of your visions here, as let's say your third eye was still closing.
Yeah.
Shooting straight up to the sky. From the Reverend is a familiar looking column of light.
Okay, so am I to believe that the whole sinkhole into question mark and factions that are warring and breaking into the city might be the thing that we're at right now?
At least
would that be a reasonable conclusion to draw?
Yep, I think so. It's of the factions that you saw in your first vision in our very first episode. Definitely seems like the Reverend is one side. You don't see anybody big enough to be the opposition yet, but I'll say when demon form comes out, you see some familiar almost like globs of shadow coming off of him. Off of Vesuvius, which would suggest that they're aligned with the other side. So you can make some conclusions there.
So it's like a Belphegor versus.
It is reasonable to conclude that those were the two primary parties you saw in that vision.
Right.
Who were not the only parties involved, but were the two that were actively at war with each other and causing the most shit.
Right, but it's the focus of these two being actively at war that lets the third party.
Yeah, essentially other people. There is somebody else that will try and take advantage of things.
Right. So if I can, and just in my head, if I can maybe disrupt this, that does not give the opportunity for the sneak attack from the sort of
Yeah.
Great.
Probably.
Love that. All right, team. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to let it out.
Yeah,
we're just gonna let it out.
What are we trying to let out happen first?
So the thing that I want to have happen first is weaken or redirect an existing magical spell or phenomenon. And I want.
Describe for me how close Olive gets during that process and what it looks like too.
So Olive, because it's all through touch, that's Olive's whole thing is through touch. And I think when she kind of dips into that space to see the sort of tendrils of the worlds that come together at this place of power, it's almost like she positions herself on what would be if you think of it like a circulatory system, like a capillary that leads to this central artery, this central hub. And she's sort of so she doesn't have to be right on top of it, but she definitely.
So you are transmitting. You're trying to utilize the root system to reach the ground.
Yes, and she sort of is yeah. I just had it in my head and I lost it. I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have
interrupted. No, totally fine. So she's kind of like ley lines almost. She's kind of tapping into the natural structures of how power ebbs and flows in the area to give herself some distance, but also to tap into the energy that is making this a place of power and not just a weird hole.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, she kind of has to get like a little bit like she's not like a half a mile away eating
No,
a
it's
hamburger.
if so,
Where
essentially
like
if something happened, you're close enough that like it could attract someone's attention.
yeah, I mean, say if she rolls like a 4,
Yeah.
like imagine if you will, Patrick,
Oh no,
on like
I got it. I got it. You're
like a
not in the
12
fucking
point
pit yet.
scale.
I got it.
Like if she doesn't score a 50% or better
Mhm.
on this test,
Mhm.
right? Like she's probably gonna be grounded in the buried and dead sense.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah,
what'll happen.
great. Love all of that. So we are gonna let it out,
Yeah, we
and
are.
I need to know what that looks like.
It is with spirit, which
That is the spirit. I'm good at spirit.
yep.
Yeah, I'm good at spirit. All right. All right, team.
Did it
Let's
roll?
do
Oh, it did roll. Yay.
this.
Oh no, that was I saw your 10. Oh yeah.
No, Jennifer, we got an 8.
Okay. That's a partial success.
I don't know
Um,
what that means then.
That means I get to have fun with it.
I'm so glad for you in this time that we have together.
So on a hit, which this is, mark corruption, and you
Great.
activate an ability from your playbook, which is the weaken a magic phenomenon.
I'm so excited.
Because we did not roll a 10 plus, I get to tell you how the effect is either costly, limited, or unstable. Ooh, okay. Yes, you reach in and you touch these roots. You spiritually tap into these roots, and you can essentially like fucking like switching a track on a railroad. You can do that so that essentially this energy is not getting suctioned out of the circle where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But the unstable bit is that the roots are still hungry. They have been made to want food, and if it doesn't keep getting the energy from that ritual, it's going to take it from somewhere.
Can I do anything about that or no?
If you'd like it to be from you, you can do that.
No, because that means okay. I was gonna say if I could make it be from Lord.
You can certainly offer yourself. What did you
Like,
have in mind?
what do you mean by offer myself? Is that like a?
It
like,
seems like the roots are hungry for magic, and
The
they are.
roots-
I mean, they are literally sucking demon forms out of Tainted at the moment.
They're hungry for magic. Is Lord Dennis not?
Or at
Lord
least
Dennis.
energy.
Like the column of light.
So that's more of like a visual thing for you.
Could I Ouroboros that shit and have it grab from itself? That'd be pretty cool. Devourer of worlds. I end the world. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have any bad complications.
That'd be like a Ragnarok situation right there.
I'm not sure what we would roll for you to direct the
I feel like
the
we're not
roots,
gonna do that.
but I think it would take something. I think your options right now are you can either try and feed these things, or you can sense what's going on and pull back and not weaken the ritual. You can continue what you're doing, and the roots will be hungry and find something to eat. And if you were feeling generous, you could let it be you. I think
And
it's
it would
kind of
consume me.
it'd do something.
Hmm.
Yeah, you get. I'll say just to, if this helps, it's not necessarily magic that it's taking, but magic is a good source of just pure energy. So like it could take someone's magic or their life essence or any number of things. But it's kind of a battery.
Could I have it take Pastor Dennison?
you can't exert that level of control over it, I don't think, right now. Essentially, like I said, you've kind of tapped into it, so you can donate blood if you want. You don't know if this thing knows when to stop, which could be an issue, or you can let it loose to do its own thing. But that is how the move will be unstable if we go ahead with it.
Shit. Shit. Oh, man.
We can jump around if you need some time to talk about it or think about it.
I'm trying to think. This is awful. I'm trying to think who Olive has access to that you could throw under the bus. Like, who would I be able to have get here that Olive can be like, meh.
Yeah, I'll say we've been a little wibbly wobbly with the time, and Casey is on her way. You don't know how long the ritual will last, but Casey will definitely reach here before it's over.
Wait,
I'm not sure who else could get here.
I got a little question poo for you,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
When Preston told Olive that he was in town because something really important was happening, is Preston here?
You don't see him.
Okay. Damn. All right. I'm not gonna put like an object because that's like cheesing it. Like any of Olive's like objects would definitely be that'd be cheesy and not the point.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Those might just be, like a pre-dinner mint. There's a lot of hunger here you're getting.
So it's sort of, but am I learning by doing this that it's that the tainted are feeding something?
Yeah, that's essentially from your interaction with the root and from your studying the place of power. The ritual itself is essentially pulling the infernal magic out of these humans and storing that in the land to act as a battery for something later.
Okay.
All right. Think it over.
I didn't think.
Okay. Perfect. Let's hop back out to our parking lot crew. Yeah, it's we'll just say you and Don and Belphegor, you've got your drinks, whatever you'd like to be doing here. Eventually, he should probably check into why his employee called him here. But you do see an ambulance coming. The siren's not on.
Oh, okay.
It's my fault for not picking wrath as the sin. I feel like he would have been a lot more on top of his game here. But he's just sloughing it up in the old parking lot.
I'll get to it when I get to it. We've got a loose definition of deadlines in this department.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just absolutely wreck your shit real quick, Patrick.
Please.
I too am going to let it out because this is obviously some big shit, and I want to know who else is around. So I'm gonna take a look at that. Yeah, I'm gonna extend my vampiric senses, and I'm gonna look for any of those telltale ribbons floating above, like I found Belphegor with earlier tonight.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with spirit, which I know you love.
It's my favorite stat.
I know.
All right, that's a 5.
Sure is.
That is 5. So that's a corruption.
Technically not on a miss. I don't think it is. Let me read the move.
Goodness.
Let's see. When on a hit, you mark corruption.
Oh my goodness.
What are we gonna get into on a miss?
It's another one of those nights.
Hmm. Oh no. Is that big enough? Yeah. Let's.
Fuck me up, fam.
Can I give him my
Wreck me.
+1 forward? Can my demonic energy just flow off onto him real quick?
I got an idea.
It wouldn't do anything.
I hope it's not fully
it's
fucking
5.
you up, so I apologize that it's not as dramatic as you might want. But the idea that sprang to me was you get a text from Clegg
Okay.
that just says, where were you?
Oh, man,
And
remind me,
there's
who was Clegg?
Clegg was the autumn fae that you said you would meet at Cinderella's to help you find Snow Pea before you started drinking with Belphegor.
Belphegor said he was gonna fucking take care of it. Belphegor, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you,
He
man.
might have taken care of it. You don't know what taking care of it means to Belphegor.
Oh no!
Fucking shit. Belphegor.
There is a text there's a image that follows up that text, which is Snow Pea's signature white jacket, covered in blood. No Snow Pea in the image, and I think that's about the time the ambulance gets there.
I do not want to detract from that scene at all, but I feel like Belphegor's version of taking care of it is like stealing your phone and turning "Do Not Disturb" on, and then slipping it back into your pocket. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, this is fine.
You can certainly bring this matter up to Belphegor, who is currently with you. There's also an ambulance pulling up.
He's probably hitting like a whippet or something. Like, what? What do you mean?
And you heard like I guess I don't know what sound Vesuvius makes in his transformation. I don't know if you can hear a fire igniting, but you smell burning. I'd imagine you'd smell the burning skin.
It sounds like a keening otter, I think. Just a
Gosh,
really
otters
terrible.
make terrible sounds.
They make the worst noises. They're awful.
It's
Once you know,
it's
terrible.
actually kind of like a mix of a roaring fire and a whistling pot of boiling water.
So a keening otter. Weird.
You hear
Okay,
that
cool.
coming from the pit.
Okay, and everyone is.
Casey, the ambulance is pulling up to a stop.
Okay.
What? Sorry, what was Don? You were saying something?
There's no other repercussions. It's just the environment. I just failed to let the beast out.
Essentially, not to bore people with too much of like over the table stuff, but I make an MC move, which is, I can occasionally just make some consequences happen in the background. Sometimes I throw some new people into things.
Not all of Snoopy shit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. I'm fine. I'm gonna run.
I'll say I will if I ever kill an NPC, we'll all know. Snoopy is above the table. She's still alive somewhere. Life's just probably not great for her.
Nope, she's dead. Okay. I think. Yeah, okay. I think he's just gonna try to play it off and go. Yeah, sorry. Some of my blood got on her jacket when I fucking wolf bit my neck. And then I'll just I'll do a voice recording instead of sending an actual text, so no punctuation or anything. And
I forgot that you like to do that.
Yeah,
the voice to text.
So I swear I had an ex that used to do that, and it was the worst thing because my phone would turn off halfway through the message, and I would have to start the message all the way. Oh, it was the worst. But yeah, it's just gonna go on a big rant about like, oh yeah, well, hey, look, here's what you should have done. Look, I did get my neck bitten into earlier tonight, so it's probably a little bit of blood from there, and a little thing with a strange demon named Feligor, Bellybor. You know who the fucker I'm talking about. Uh, and just kind of like ramble for a bit. And then just fuck.
I told you you're working too hard. Smashes the fishbowl to the ground. Now empty. Because he's not carrying that around. That's work. What's this about? The ambulance. I didn't call them. They're not on my payroll as far as I know.
Right. Let's just smile and smile, knowing with the knowledge that we didn't drive over here.
I always smile, don't they? I forget, doesn't it take more muscles to smile than frown or some shit like that?
That's what they fucking say, but eventually
so
your
that's the
face is gonna
easiest thing
start
to do.
twitching, and you'll look like you're snarling. It's not a good look. Fine. Hello.
Hello. How is everyone doing today?
Yeah, I think Lane helps you out of the back of the ambulance if you'd like, Casey.
Yeah, definitely. And she's going to say, I've come to rescue you. She's like dressed like in a chic princess outfit and halfway, like, not half dead, but she needs help getting out.
You look like shit.
It's rude. I think that's rude. Is this...
I looked down at myself, I was like, I do?
There's the.
You've got a lot of sparkles on, and you seem to be bleeding. Sparkles.
Yeah, but my buddy fixed that. I came to rescue you and Billy from whatever's going on.
Well,
I've got a Band-Aid for you.
Oh, perfect. She brought Bandit. That's perfect. Yeah, we're rescuing down here. Points down into the pit. She's like, all right, crew, let's go. Let's go deal with this.
I love how easily that crew was formed. It was just like,
Sure
instant.
thing.
Yeah.
Where are the drinks?
Oh no.
I will hand you the empty bottle of gin.
Meanwhile, demonic fireworks are just like spraying into the air across the distance.
Yes, Casey, you do smell burning skin and hear a tea kettle whistling from in the pit.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep.
Can I sit on the edge of it?
Yeah. Hell yeah, you can. You see, kind of as I've described before, at the very bottom of this pit, there's 5 people in a ritual circle that all look like they're having demons ripped out of them and dragged to the center of the circle. And one level up from there, there's an old man with a cane, with a giant demon bearing down on him that you've probably seen Vesuvius's demon form, I think, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Vesuvius is bearing down on an old man, and there's a possible female bodyguard standing nearby.
I'm just going to yell down to Vesuvius. Like, hey, Vesuvius!
Hello.
What you
Welcome
doing?
to the party.
I need a drink.
Soon there will be blood flowing.
Not that. I'm not a vampire.
My apologies.
Like, I'm completely casual about this.
Oh, yeah.
Just like sitting on the
We are,
Same.
looking
we
down.
are all in the scene together now, so you all proceed however you would like. You'd let me know what you're doing.
Okay. I'm going to go and I'm going to grab Reverend Dennison and I'm going to fly into the air and then I'm going to drop him down into the middle of the circle and try and sacrifice him to the spooky interdimensional tree. And, call it a day. That's my
Sure.
plan.
Go ahead and try and turn to violence for that.
All right, I'm gonna try my damnedest. That is a basic move, and
It's basic. It's
a very
with
basic
blood.
move.
It's a basic move.
It's just a
with blood.
very basic move.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll blood. I'm all super demoned out too. I don't know if you missed that. I'm like,
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
like
got
the
it.
most. I'm like the most demon I could be right now. I'm just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna roll with a
Yeah,
plus
this is
3.
really a chance to like do well on the next performance appraisal with
10.
Belphegor watching.
10.
Okay, on a 10. On a hit, you inflict harm as established.
Yep.
Are you? What are you doing? What is the harm you establish? Are you fire breathing him like you set up, or are you just?
Yes, I'm going to blow fire into space and charge at him and grapple him afterwards,
Okay.
and then fly into the air. All 3 of those things in one turn because I'm awesome.
So
I don't.
you inflict the What is your harm from your fire breath?
Okay, it's
you're,
2.
You're close. So you inflict. Okay. So 2. Is it armor piercing?
Hold on. Let's see.
You let me know. He's going to get to choose one thing from this list.
I technically got an 11 because I'm gonna take 1 + 1 forward.
Okay,
thing.
it's the same.
Okay, got it.
Anything
Okay.
10 or up is the same.
That's what I
Unless you've
figured.
advanced a move and you get 12 or up, but 10 and 11
It just
are the
says
same.
demonic weapon, 3 harm hand or 2 harm close, and I picked 2 harm close.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so close to let you like hand is the difference. Hand is like melee, close is like
Yeah.
shotgun.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so it's he this definitely hurts. Like he's definitely on fire.
Yeah.
Some of it seems to like he's got a bit of a glow.
Got it.
Where he's you get the sense that he's got some divine protection. Where it
Sure.
doesn't do full damage.
That's
on a
fine.
10 plus, you can inflict terrible harm. You could take something from them, or you can create an opportunity for an ally. And then he gets to choose one thing on you as well here, from higher up.
I want to rip off. I want to, using my demonic senses, identify if there's an object that's giving him this holy protection, and if I can, I want to. That's what I want to take from him. Unless it just seems like it's just a spell cast on him. My assumption is he might have like the staff he's wielding, or like the necklace he has on might be like a protective rune or something.
Give me a sec. Let me look at something real quick. Because that's a good question. I forget. So it appears like the blessing is on himself.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, so
yeah, so nothing so much to remove. He does have. I would say you can sense that the staff is blessed and could probably be used as a weapon against you if you still wanted to get rid of it, or you could choose a different option if you wanted.
I want to take. Does he have like a necklace on that represents like his organization? Like, do they have a symbol?
Sure.
Or something like a.
What's
Okay,
their,
I want to.
You tell me what the symbol is.
The Second Ark.
Yeah.
It looks like a McDonald's symbol, but it's like a lot more elaborately designed.
So, yeah.
It's just 2 arcs next to each other that would, if they were just pushed ever so slightly together, it would look like an M for McDonald's.
It's the second arc, like a boat.
Yeah.
Not an arch.
Yeah. Oh,
but
know,
I'm fine with him having the golden arches as a symbol. That's cool too.
Got it. Yeah, no, that's what we're going with, because I misheard every time you said it. I miss.
He's trying to save his people from a flood with the McDonald's golden arches.
Nailed it. Arc. Yeah, that shows you how much I went to like Sunday school, which was never.
No, you've got his most significant symbol of his faith you've taken from him.
Yeah, and I've melted it into my hand while I'm grabbing him with the. Did I successfully grapple him?
So here's the thing about that. He gets to choose one from this list up top in turn to violence.
Got it.
He can either inflict harm on you, put you in a bad spot, or create an opening to flee.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
Anyway,
I think I think you start flying, and he manages to like wiggle out of his jacket, and so he's
drop
choosing
him.
create an opening to flee. So he's not gone. He's still here. He's just not in your clutches, and he's kind of put gloves between you and him.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and so
But
we'll
he's-
just say I grabbed his necklace and just like held it in my hand, and it's like molten metal like started pouring out of the sides of my hand, and I just like threw it on the ground. Like,
I love that.
so sorry, that's a little bit rewind a
No,
bit to
that's
describe
fine.
that. But anyway, no, I did that and then flew in the air, and then had a firm grip on the collar of his coat, and he just like I guess unbuttoned it or something, and just fell down. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Everybody can see this whole confrontation. I mean, Casey's probably got the best view. She's got like, God, what do they call them? Balcony seats. To
Yeah.
this.
Can I give a play-by-play?
Yep. Do you want to? Who are
Yeah.
I think Lane has sat next to you, with the bottle of alcohol from Don. If he handed that over.
What is this, like a freaking wrestling event now? Like no one's helping me. They're just getting drunk and watching me.
Well, what is she
Whatever,
gonna
that's
do?
fine. I don't
I mean,
know.
you're like
I thought you didn't bring a shotgun or a machine gun. One of those two things. No one brought those. No.
Well, no,
Okay.
because I was dying.
Fair enough.
Some people
You
have been
feel
dying
free.
tonight, Vesuvius.
Honestly, you are so close to death. Why don't you just hang out and have a drink while we
Covered
sort
in
this out?
sparkles.
Yeah, exactly. Just hang out in the
Respect the
background
princess.
while hang out in the background a bit while Olive comes in with the mini shotguns she claims to have brought.
Yeah.
Don looks like he's got something to say.
I do, yeah. I'm gonna look over to Vesuvius. I'll look over to Belphegor and go, you're looking for contract work. One night. Just a night.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to
Yeah,
count?
I'm asking if you're looking for a little bit of hand to help your boy out.
I don't know. Do you not think this is a good performance review for him? I mean, he should certainly be able to handle this on his own.
I think you're right, but isn't it the perfect chance to let him indulge in sloth? To let him think, this dangerous situation, I can relax a bit now that I got a buddy here.
I like that. I like the way you talk.
Go ahead and persuade an NPC.
All right. If the dice were ever gonna not
Just trying to
fuck
get
me.
out of this deal you made real quick.
No, 100%. I'm trying to do a new deal. I'm not trying to get out of this one. Fuck me.
Oh no!
I've taken all the juice, all these 10s and 12s I've been rolling.
Okay, great.
Stop making me come up with consequences on my own, damn it.
Oh.
Put you on your toes. That's why we're rolling bad. We're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, we can
Help make you a better GM.
How about the?
Why don't we?
Uh,
Do you mind? Has Olive had sufficient time to think about her move?
I've got one thing real quick.
No, pitch it.
I'll look to him and see that he's obviously not fucking buying this shit. I go, all right, tell you what, make it a 2-week contract. You make sure that 200,000 asses are on couches watching the next event.
I get your assistance for 2 weeks.
You get yeah.
Yep, he'll shake your hand on that,
Fantastic.
and it's you feel like there's some weight to this.
Fantastic.
It's,
I am.
I'll let you know when I plan on cashing in those 2 weeks.
Fuck. I hope you're ready for an impromptu vacation.
forgot to.
It's work related, I promise.
That was a good consequence. Thank you for that. Thank you for that pitch.
And I'm gonna rush headlong in.
This is gonna be cool. I just see
Nice.
a vampire come running across the ground.
Who
like,
are
what's
you
that?
rushing at?
I am.
Gloves.
I'm.
You know, I don't know if you've seen either of them before. You could roll with power for Gloves or the Reverend if you need power.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's roll us some power.
Don't forget to get yourself some advancements here, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've just been stuck with Belphegor forever. Oh, good. You know what? Hey, Pat. You know what power is?
What's power?
A 5.
So why do you owe Gloves?
Oh no, this is gonna complicate things.
Why does Gloves
think-
have a debt on you?
I think I owe Gloves because I showed out at a party she had one time and like destroyed the toilet. When I say destroyed the toilet, I mean like I dropped an M80 down it for fun.
Oh no, he literally just ruined the whole
Yeah.
plumbing.
Yeah, I just
What?
like,
Gloves
The
cannot
whole
have nice things with you assholes.
No.
Okay. Owes Gloves one debt for destroying her toilet.
Yep.
Maybe that's why the car
Underpaid.
thing didn't seem to bother as much as I would have thought, because she just had her toilet just destroyed by this other asshole.
Yeah, probably like a housewarming party a few years ago. I just like, you know, I went with some of the young folks and you know did do that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you rush into the fray, and she, noticing your approach. Oh look, you come to make even.
Just running at Gloves with my hand out.
Okay. Are you turning to violence?
I'm turning to violence.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with
I
Gloves.
love violence.
Fucking kidding me? Are you fucking with me right now? Fucking
Oh
with me?
no! Is that a 4?
It's a 6.
It's a 6. Oh no!
All right, hit me with it, Pat. Hit me with it.
Oh,
I hate this game. No, I'm just kidding. I love it.
oh no! I really feel like it's so you're trying to like bum rush Gloves, who is actively in fucking fight mode.
Oh yeah,
I think you take harm back.
fantastic.
I think that's gonna at least be 2 harm with her fucking blessed silver knuckles. So you've got some harm already, right, bud?
I got a thing.
Do we have
I
to?
got a
Okay,
thing.
okay. I was gonna say, do we need to talk about the scar mechanic tonight?
Yeah, let's talk about the scar mechanic.
Yeah. So scars are, if you ever don't want to take harm because, say, it would kill you, you
Sounds
could
like a
choose
really
to take.
specific circumstance.
Yeah, you could. I mean, not just then. You could choose to take a scar whenever you want. But if you were gonna die from harm, you could take a scar instead, which is a permanent stat reduction. You've got 4 of them over the course of your character's life, before you have no more get out of death free cards, and not really free. No more get out of death cards.
Okay. Can you give me Gloves as attack? I'll follow through with you. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I think. Well, what does your attack look like?
Like full Superman, like leaping punch.
Yeah, I think it is very. Have you played the Final Fantasy VII remake?
I have not, unfortunately.
Even original Tifa, I feel like she gets a sense that you are like behind, goes whizzing past her ear, and just turns around and uppercuts you with these blessed silver knuckles.
Oh no.
And in a puff of smoke, Dawn is no longer there. At 3 harm, there is no longer a Dawn.
Son of a bitch. I thought you might do this. Yeah, what does...
What did you do?
Are we doing an end move, Don? Zan? Do we get to experience
I
an
think
end move?
people have seen what an end move does, because they have seen me not be here. People have seen me at this location, know what I'm doing and who I'm working with, whose direction I'm working under for this.
Yes. So, group. It's Belphegor. I mean, Vesuvius. You're in the heat of battle, but you still get this. Still attracts your attention. Casey, you and Lane have a fantastic view of the whole event, and Olive, I think you look up from your interaction with the Root in time to see Don is charging at this woman alongside the Reverend, and she turns around and just slugs him, and there is like a brief glint or flash of light, and then is it ash, Zan? What does it look
It's
like?
mist. It's just a white, dense fog that just rolls away from the punch and just slowly disperses.
Did he fucking die?
Yeah.
She's fucking. Oh
Do
no.
you wanna,
I think that Olive finds this so incredibly jarring that she like lets go of the ritual with the Root doing nothing.
Zan, would you like to read the end move of the Vamp playbook?
I would be delighted to. So the end move to the Vamp playbook is when you die, name the person that you hold most responsible. Your agents and allies relentlessly pursue them until justice is served. The person responsible is the person whose work I was doing when I went into this fight, being Belphegor.
Now I'm gonna be at war with a bunch of angry, drunk vampire wrestlers. Damn
Oh, then
it.
that's just vampires.
Oh, I know.
Ooh. So, yeah, that happens. What now? Olive, everybody that has the heart to look away notices that those 5 demon forms that have been pulled from the human bodies that they were in are all struggling to get away from the center of the circle, but they're approaching the center of whatever this ritual is.
Okay. So shit.
We could take a
Try
moment
let it out again. Can I just try let it out again?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's so important question though.
Yeah.
When you let it out before, did you proceed with weakening the ritual knowing what would happen, or did you just call it off?
So I feel like, well, what I just thought about was like realistic. I'm imagining that this all happens actually quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that the whole situation with Dawn, Olive would have just had to almost start over. Like she would have watched it happen and then been like, "Oh, okay, whoa, hey now."
Yeah, I'll say it's totally your call. We could do that, like, start over at this point. If you wanted to let that happen with the consequence that, okay, the Roots have a mind of their own now, and they're hungry for things, I'd say we could go with that too. It's totally
I
your
would.
call.
I know what. I actually think, like, to narratively, like, I'm not going to be as I'm not going to be so risk averse. I think that in Olive's, I don't know how upset she is about the death of Dawn. We'll just
It's shocking, if nothing
in the
else.
surprise, but also the sort of like, oh shit, like out of all of us, he kind of seemed to be the one who could always wiggle his way out of something. So I imagine that, like, in her surprise, she was like going to try and feed it. Like she was thinking about like her jewelry that might be connected to something, and like was sort of trying to think about what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she just sort of like left it disrupted, but didn't squelch the hunger.
Okay, got it.
Like
So
like leaving it hungry, but she
Yeah.
did what she wanted to do, but she didn't like tie it up neatly in a bow, which is the
Yeah.
Olive Jones way.
No, absolutely. So Yeah, you see like there's a brief like almost like static flash along some of those like pale green sickly lights that are lighting up this rune circle, and you get the sense that if somebody tried to interrupt this ritual, they'd have mechanically they'd have some help there. Now it's not as hard to disrupt, like we're moving the target down a bit.
Yeah.
And but you do see the roots, like a few of them break off from that focal point at the center of the ritual and are now kind of like writhing a bit more. I don't know if enthusiastically is the right word, but vigorously.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What would you try and like to let out now?
No, I was actually going to. So no, that was going to be my risk averse, was to just start over and see if I would roll better. I think that I really just think that she's sort of sitting there next to Bruin and she's just like freaking out. Like shit. Like did I disrupt it? Are the demon forms like free now or no?
So it's you weakened it.
I weakened it. Okay.
Somebody still has to do the process of interrupting the ritual, but they'll have some help with that now.
Okay.
So if somebody tries to break it up, it's not as hard to do.
Can I see Casey?
Yeah. Nobody has seen you yet because you and Bruin have been pretty like on the down low here. But you can, because everybody else has been fucking shouting and yelling to each other.
Right. So I think that like Olive is like, I would say this is probably also an intimacy move because this is a time where she's like really kind of freaked out. So I think that she like shouts to Bruin to like run away, basically to be like, you've got to go. Like, I can't let you get hurt. Like, you know what I mean? She's like freaking out. And then she starts like shouting to, for Casey to come and help her.
If you want Bruin to leave you here, you are gonna have to persuade him. You're gonna have to roll to persuade.
But he like can't help because he doesn't have magic, right?
Yeah, but you're here.
Okay.
Probably has a gun though, right? Many of those shotguns you were talking about, maybe he's the one that has them.
yes, my shotguns. Wait a minute. Does he have a gun?
No one's asked yet.
I think that she's gonna like pull her hands out of the sort of like not actually out of the ground, but out of the upside down, whatever. As soon as dawn, she's gonna see the like root system, and she's gonna look down and see Dennison.
Yes, that is the Reverend.
And so we get the sense that we need to kill the Reverend, and then.
I mean, that's the sense that Vesuvius has.
Okay.
No, I mean, nothing about this old man just screams murder me for any objective reason. They're not aligned with Vesuvius for sure.
Okay. So...
They kidnapped all these people and are forcing.
They are exorcising demons from people.
Yeah, okay, that's their perspective. These people worked hard for this power, and they probably like it.
Maybe they were they signed deals that they didn't fully get a hold. It's debt forgiveness in his mind.
Look, if this is Belfort, I don't think anyone worked hard to get their position. I just think intrinsically.
But you got to understand it. You have to. It doesn't seem like hard work, but it is. It's like hard work to get anything done around him.
Yeah, so you can absolutely I'm not going to tell you how you feel about the Reverend. If you feel like he needs to be murdered, you can totally do that. What you've gathered information wise is that the ritual that's happening is charging up the land for something in the future.
Yeah. So
that is not necessarily nefarious or evil at all.
No, I feel like
but your contact, like the person you're closest to probably is opposed to the Reverend right now.
Right. So, but I feel like that Olive, having seen, now that I'm like really thinking about it, and she knows that Belphegor has some level of control over Vesuvius. Mm-hmm. So I think that she's figuring that like to kill the Reverend would be just tantamount to killing Vesuvius. Like it's not going to solve the problem because there's somebody else. The column of light goes someplace else. So I think she's just going to sort of Wait, what? You have that look on your face, Patrick.
No,
like,
I was listening to what you said
like,
about like,
like,
oh,
like I
if
see
the
historian
Reverend died,
stupid.
then like essentially it would get passed on to someone else.
Yeah, but also that like this isn't the Reverend is not the BBEG of this moment.
I mean, it's like what your visions have told you, or what you saw was the Reverend and Belphegor at a war that was consuming the city.
Yeah. So we get the sense that we need to kind of stop this business. So I think that she's gonna shout to Casey to help use magic, fey magic, to help disrupt the ritual and get this shit under control.
Yeah. I forget, did you still want to get Bruin to leave? Or
He's unaware. Let him hang out. He already knows.
Yeah,
all
I
this
mean, I
shit.
feel like there's not much. I mean, we just watched a vampire get punched into mist. I don't really know what I'm protecting him from at this
yeah,
point.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, you don't see any underground caves with mysterious coffins waiting to be open.
Right. I do think though, like, I don't know if her like panicking and freaking out is really like an intimacy move. I have no idea.
I mean, I always leave the intimacy moves pretty much up to y'all.
Yeah.
It's the panic. I feel like that kind of rolls in with the last one that you did. I don't know that it would like
That
trigger
makes
again
total
yet.
sense. So yeah, no, I think that she's just gonna call to Casey. Because she sees Casey.
Casey, you now know that Olive is here, Casey, and I think everybody else does too because of shouting and how sound works. Casey's here. Thinks you should play a more active role in whatever the fuck all of this is.
I'm trying to figure out what I could do without dying since I'm already
Yep.
a little injury.
I would avoid fighting. Is what I would do.
Yeah.
If we've learned anything from Dawn,
But most of her stuff is like her moves are like
If I let it out again, could she lend a hand?
oh yeah, we've got lend a hand, which we can now do since y'all are actually in scenes together.
Yay!
okay.
Yeah.
Would I be able to climb down okay, or does Lane need to help me?
Lane can help you. There's like walkways and shit, but if you wanted to climb, you can.
I think I'll start
it's
to
not
climb,
just a
and
sheer
then Lane can be like, "There's a walkway."
Lane is like, there's like stairs and a path. Okay, we're doing it this way, and like her nails get like a bit long, and she starts like digging into the rock, going alongside you, just to like no, things are gonna be. I promised Brooks that I'd make sure you didn't die. For lend a hand or get in the way, because you can also get in each other's way. After a PC has rolled, so you get to see if they succeed or not. Y'all can choose to try and help, and you have to roll with that person's circle. And if you do well, you can give them a +1, or if you wanted to fuck with that person, you give them a -2 to their roll. But on a not full success, you expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost. So you get wrapped up into whatever they're doing.
I would like to ask a question on their behalf.
Yeah.
How close do they have to be to to do the flash flood move that we have here in Roll20 to interrupt the thing?
I think it would totally depend on how they're doing it.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, if Olive wanted to, like, the roots do. All pipes lead to the sea. You could do it through the roots. I mean, if somebody wanted to describe themselves doing a magic spell outside of the circle and how it would work, they could totally do that. You could also just somebody like not so magically inclined could totally just run up and like palm it. Like it's however y'all want to do it. To me, the proximity to it isn't going to be so much of the cost because the special move that we made for it is risky on its own. So I'm not going to worry too much about the location.
Well, Casey's going to climb down to help.
Yeah. Are you climbing down So we've kind of been dealing with like 3 levels here, like your bleacher seats where you've been at, kind of like midway down where the fighting has been happening, where Don just got misted, and all the way down, which is where like the ritual circle is.
Is that where Olive is all the way down?
Olive is kind of like just opposite across the hole to you.
Yeah, Olive is not. Olive is
Olive
not.
has not climbed down into anything.
Olive is a squishy
Yeah.
grape of a person, and is not that close to the fray.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she's just going to try to be with her friend Olive.
Okay, so you. So instead of climbing down, you're gonna walk around the circle.
It's like
Yeah,
when
I
you're at
guess.
a concert and you see your friend across the arena, and you're like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god!"
exactly.
Oh, you're okay.
You're like across the arena from Olive, so you can
Okay,
stay
I
on
somehow
the.
thought she was down there.
No, you can stay on the upper level of seats and make it to Olive.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that instead of.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anything you want to try in the meantime? If you need to mark power or just want to know, you could try and figure out who the Reverend or Gloves are. Anybody that hasn't met them can do that. I'm just trying
I'll
to throw
do
you
that,
guys
'cause I need
out
to- I
on
want
some
to mark
advancements. People that haven't met Lane and need to mark Knight can roll with Knight. If any NPC is in the scene and you haven't met them and you need their shit, go ahead and roll with it, and we'll play it all out. But this, while that is happening, Vesuvius, what are you doing? You made your first go at the Reverend, who is still smoldering, and then Gloves killed Don in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find a way to use infernal magic to sacrifice him and free the other people. So I guess interrupt the ritual and replace the victims, maybe.
How would we? Let me see something real quick.
See, maybe we could do let it out, since that's kind of me utilizing my
Yeah, I was looking at
dark
that.
power.
Give me just a second. I'm looking over some basic moves too.
Or I could just bring him into the middle of the circle and set him on fire and hope it works.
What we could do is we just roll. We'll roll to see if you can get him down there. We'll try that. Then we will roll to disrupt the ritual. And if the ritual is disrupted, those tentacles are going for something, and it's the 2 of you down there. So we're going to see how that plays out. Does that kind of seem like what you were interested in?
Yes, perfect. Perfection.
Cool. All right. So let's see. How to best...
So I would like to turn to violence and grapple.
Yeah.
Basically, that's probably what I'd use for grapple, right?
Yeah, and I'll say, since you're like specifying that, I'll say that like if you want to grapple instead of causing harm is established, then I will eliminate the created opening to flee from his list of options.
Got it. Okay, and so the take +1 forward. How many times does that come into play?
It's just once, unless it says ongoing.
Got it.
So
okay.
it was just your first roll after changing.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to roll. I got an 11.
Nice. Yeah, so it's you grapple. You get to choose an extra option, which is you can take something else from him. You could take his position if you wanted. It doesn't have to be something tangible. It could be something like metaphysical is not the right word, but essentially like you can take like someone's confidence from them, or you could take someone's position and you can then place him exactly where you'd want.
I want to...
Or you can inflict terrible harm or create an opportunity for an ally.
I want to turn him around, like pick him up into the air and just blow fire into his face.
Okay. So do you want inflict terrible harm, it sounds like?
Yes.
Yeah, since you got that option, we'll say that like you can grapple and do your normal harm. So he is more singed, even though he's got his special glowy religious boy. His radiant skin, he is still burning. He's still not enjoying being burnt. Old man barbecue screams occur.
Got it. And I can go
yes,
ahead and
and
roll.
You can grapple him and take him down there if you'd like.
Okay, what do I roll to do the flash flood thing real quick? So
Got it.
Since we're getting late.
No, absolutely. Is anybody doing anything while this is happening? Or are are Olive and Casey essentially just kind of grouping up at the center with like Lane or up at top with Lane and Bruin and kind of watching this play out?
I imagine any ritual plans that Olive had, as soon as it's clear that Vesuvius is doing something in like a lot, she's probably going to pull back for a second. She doesn't want any of these wormy things to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Anymore.
So,
I
for
start
the audience,
chanting in Latin, like with a loud demonic voice that just echoes throughout the gorge.
Nice. Nice. It's not a dead language to you.
Yeah.
So what is happening now is a special custom move that was made called Flash Flood, which is when you interrupt an ongoing ritual of the Second Ark. Say what you're willing to risk and roll +1 for each that you name. You have to use it. You have to name at least one in order to use the move. So
Okay.
the more things that you're willing to risk, the better your chance of success.
Okay,
The
I'm
things
going
that you
to.
can- would you like your options?
Yes,
I know
see-
that you can read them, but
Okay, the options are your anonymity. That's a hard word for me to say for some reason.
Sorry.
Your anonymity, your body, your essence, or your relationships.
Yes, and each of those have some pretty substantial long-term consequences if things go poorly.
Yeah, I'm gonna do your body, your relationships, and your anonymity. I'm gonna do all three of those.
Nice. Yeah, so you get to. This is just a 2d6 + 3 roll then, and because Olive weakened the ritual, I'm gonna say it's 2d6 + 4 for you.
Well, 12 then. I got an 11 plus that extra one that I didn't program in. So
Nice. On a hit, you halt the ritual from reaching its culmination, and because you didn't get the 7 to 9, the mixed success, you don't lose any of the things you risked. It is a full success. Describe how this goes down.
Okay, so I still have the at this point my sharp bony hands are like embedded into the reverend's flesh, and they're just like burning, and I've got them I'm flown up in the air with my wings made of fire, and I've basically I let off the breath weapon, and he's just like screaming, and I've got him over like where the ritual is taking place, and I'm just going to start chanting and stuff, and digging my fingers even further into his body, and then the all the runes on the ground and the circle start glowing like the same fiery blue that make up my eyes.
Nice.
And it just starts flashing over and over again, and then it all just like the light from it all just like pulls into my body, and that's kind of where I'm like struggling for it to not affect me. Basically, I'm like almost like processing it with my own infernal power, and it just gets released in like a harmless but still kind of alarming shockwave after I've processed all of the danger out of it, I guess. And then I throw the Reverend down into the center of it, and right as that's happening, in hopes to feed him to the creature, and then I'll let you take over. What happens then?
Yeah, it's as you absorb the energy that was in the runes holding the other tainted in place. Those essentially their demon forms that were quickly approaching the center of the circle just get rubber banded and kind of like fly back into their bodies. And exactly as you described it, everybody sees, not just Olive at this point, is these almost like spectral crimson red, blood red roots emerging from the ground and starting to wrap their way around the Reverend and burrowing underneath his skin. And you start seeing almost like glowing light coming out, like bright, blinding white light, as they just start almost like encapsulating him, wrapping him up almost like a mummy in these roots and pulling him down. And it's kind of in terrible pain, face melted, roots going. The last thing he manages to maintain his composure, to look you in the eyes, Vesuvius, and says, "The flood is coming. Someone gets pulled under the ground." And
Cool.
that is where we'll close for tonight, if that is okay with everybody. It ran late tonight. I am sorry. We are gonna do a very quick round of outros, and when we next come back, it will be after a faction turn, our first city move faction turn, which is a time skip because shit just went down, and now repercussions are gonna happen. So we'll handle all of that, and we will jump in a bit in the future next time that we're here. Somebody let me stop talking and making a fool of myself. Zan, you go first.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Zan. A tabletop creator and content creator, tabletop gamer, streamer, all that. Almost everything is Insanity TTRPG or Insanity Gaming. Pretty easy to find. Yeah, catch me with a whole bunch of these great folks on Tuesday over on Raven's channel, and stay tuned. I'm sure we got some big stuff coming up at some point in the future. Yeah, and up until tonight, I was playing Dawn, so we're gonna see what happens.
Nikki, would you have anything you'd like to plug next? Talk about?
No.
All right, I will plug it. I will link Nikki's Twitter. She's in a lot of shit, and she's usually looking for more cool stuff to be in. So hit her
Not
up
as
because
much
she's great.
at this time around. I'm looking for more things. I guess everybody thought I was busy.
No, she has got availability, and she's great. So message her. Leland.
Hi. I'm Leland. I am going to take the cold-blooded vamp move as my advancement, so that's cool. But anything that lets me roll blood instead of something else means I'll pass at it. So I might just take a bunch of stuff like that. That's called min-maxing, I feel like, but I'm gonna do it. Anyway, also I will plug. What day is it? Sunday. All right. So this coming up Friday, I'm in a game that Nikki's running. That uses the fundamental RPG system that Raven wrote. Come check it out at 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be weird, I can tell, and I'm excited to see what kind of weird. So we've already got a really cool cast of people. We even just added another person who seems gung-ho excited about it. So come and check it out. We did a secret session 0, and it's this is going to be session 1 on Friday. So 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/RAVVYN. And you can find me at Leopold the Just. Keep an eye out if you like tabletop RPG Kickstarters, because that's going to be probably one of my main sources of income is promoting stuff like that now. So I will be highlighting all sorts of cool stuff, hopefully, coming soon. All right.
Cool. And Historian.
All right. I am IC Historian. IC Historian, all the places on the internet where I feel like being found. And follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I talk about games, and sometimes I talk about teaching history or finishing school.
Nice.
That's basically what I talk about. And I'm a lot of places doing stuff.
You're in a game on Tuesdays on Raven's channel.
I sure am in a game on Tuesdays on Raven's channel. I'm in a game every other Friday for however long we're still going on Polished Cryptid's channel, and I'm here on Sundays.
Yep. And I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric Online, like here, because you found it already, so you already know that. Everybody here is fantastic, and their links are in chat. Besides here, you can catch me on Raven's channel in that same Tuesday game, playing a theater nerd teenager humanoid pangolin. Yep, that's a lot of adjectives and a random noun at the end. And then on Saturday evening, U.S. time, catch me on Polished Cryptid's channel for, I think, the finale of our Blades in the Dark mini campaign. And then here on Sundays. And soon, sometime this week, I will be posting information about a 3-part They Came From Beneath mini campaign that I think Mr. Zan will be running for us. It's exciting.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to be doing something after he does that. So cool. I guess I should think about that.
Yeah, that's it. Things are late tonight, but it was so that I am blown away by how good y'all made that freaking scene.
Yeah, no, that was ridiculous. I mean, I know I did all the work basically, but it's like everyone else was cool too. Like Zan tried to help, and it was just like, obviously he can't really help. And this is big leaguer stuff. You know?
Don was old was the problem. He was he should have been in bed already.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We will be back later after sleep. People are required to sleep right now, Zan, and also all the rest of us that need sleep.
I'm gonna be up till 5
Some of us
a.m.
need
playing
reminders.
Total War, Warhammer 2.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.